division. We casted these guys quite a bit in the DPC lower division, where they placed first in the Eastern European League. Krelot, Desperate, Melis, Astro, and Ducalis are the full roster here for today for the side of PuckChamp. They ended up losing, of course, their match yesterday to Viking GG. It was a 2-0. Didn't look too good here for PuckChamp, but I'm sure they'll be back to the drawing board here and another tough opponent today, which is going to be the HELLBearsMASHERS for them.
Yeah, HELLBearsMASHERS, a team that did really well in EU lowers. They came in first in the end, right? Because they did win the tiebreaker, so they ended
That's
up
correct.
First. Yep. And I mean, they're just a really solid team, right? A good mix of like new blood and a bit of the old veterans, right? Particularly, I think that any team with like Misery or Rasmus right now works out nicely. I think he's always been a very solid captain, a strong voice in most of these teams, right? You combine him with a bit of a crazy man and ace, right? And then you put them you put three more heroes with them that also have like a particularly good style, very good mechanics, and I like his teams in general. I think that he's a powerful guru for the younger players. Let's call him that.
Yeah, and speaking of strong, did you see the epic gamer move he pulled where he posted a picture on Twitter, but it was a link to Imager of him diving in ice, and he's huge now.
Yeah, they were talking about it the other game. They were talking about it at the start of the game because they had to pause the game, and someone went, "Hey, is he still in ice water?" I was like, "Yeah." I mean, I was actually speaking about this in the cast. As a Southern European, you just see that the Northerners always do these things. I don't know. They like their ice. They like their snow. I'm not really sure. I like to be in La Playa, but they like to be in the snow.
I like to be in La Playa, taking mi siesta.
I like my siesta in La Playa, and I like when the sand makes me warm in my legs. But no, and a lot of the Northern Europeans, they just, I guess because they're born in snow, so they just think more snow is better. And when I was living in Scotland, I used to have friends who regularly went, shirtless and stuff in snow or ice. Really, they didn't really more ice, and they would just like slide down the ice shirtless, which also chafed them. They didn't care. They loved it. It's part of their culture. Oh, no, dude.
Yeah,
to me, it's crazy.
All I'll say is the last thing about this, I grew up a little bit more north than you did in terms of the latitude
I've seen
and
your
longitude. And well, yeah, of course. And we wouldn't really do that in the U.S. So what we would do, though, you were a cool guy if it was snowing and it was like -10 degrees Celsius, and you would wear shorts to the bus stop. People would be like, "What is wrong with you? Why are you wearing shorts?"
That's the Swedish flex. That's what we call it in Europe. Yeah, the Swedish.
Oh, it's great.
Classic.
That's great. Yep. Anyway, draft now live here before game one. It's a best of 3. This Snow Sweet Snow #1 grand finals rematch. So not a best of 5 this time around. It was a 3-1 victory for HELLBearsMASHERS. They won the first 2 games. PuckChamp took a game number 3, and they almost took game number 4 as well. It was a really, really close game, and Nailbiter. Actually highly recommend watching that game because there's some great Dota in it. But this is only going to be best of 3 for today. HELLBearsMASHERS, they did win that one. We'll see what PuckChamp can get done for today here.
Yeah, we'll see. HELLBearsMASHERS. Yeah, the draft is moving. HELLBearsMASHERS going for the very standard draft, really. Wraith King plus Viper, just one consistent lanes. The Crimstroke Nyx, which has been a very popular combo these days. PuckChamp, not too weird either, but the Coddle usually indicates some sort of combo. Actually, in fact, seeing this, yeah, PL's in the pool. I've never seen Krilla play PL, but if there's ever a PL game, this is it, man. Decent lane against Viper, good against Wraith King, combos with Keeper of Light. It's honestly like the perfect PL game here for PuckChamp. But I don't know if
I believe he does not play a whole lot of PL, actually.
I mean, I've never seen him play it, but the question is, can he play, right? Like, has he played in the pubs? Because sometimes when I feel like about these comfort picks, I don't know, you're a pro player. I'd expect you to have at least a pool of like maybe 5-6 heroes which you play well, and then beyond that, a solid 10 to 15 that you can play if the situation is right. I'd be surprised if you couldn't play a PL in this kind of situation. I don't think that Krelot particularly fulfills that. But it also might be that they comfort elsewhere. There we go.
Yeah,
it's just too good. It's just too good.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It is a great PL pick here, especially you just throw Spirit Lances at Viper all lane, and you make him very sad. You refresh it with Coddle, and you're basically good to go there. But no, I mean, it doesn't crack. He's played less than 10. If he's played PL before professionally, he's played less than 10 games. I can tell you that, pulling up the stats on him here.
That makes sense.
So, but like you said, if it's a pretty baseline hero, right? I feel like it's like if your carry doesn't play Juggernaut, you're like, well, really? You don't play Jug, you know?
No, if your carry doesn't play Juggernaut, doesn't play carry. I think that's straight up it. I feel like remember when Chalice moved in LGD from like offlane to carry, even he played Juggernaut. He had never played the position before. Like he literally could only play like DK and other like offlane heroes and then Juggernaut because everyone can play Juggernaut. My mom can play Juggernaut and she doesn't even play Dota, dude. And it's like the most basic hero you could ever play.
Right.
I even think Wraith King is more complex than Juggernaut.
I would agree. Well, I don't know. New Jug is a little bit more different.
Yeah, with the Swift Slash, you get an extra button. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and the Aghanim shard, I think, changes the way. Because before, it used to be just, quick reaction time, press Q, and be able to use it as a pseudo BKB. Now it's kind of an aggressive weapon as well, right? You need to watch your position. I think that adds definitely a degree of complexity to it. But I would still agree with you. I think Wraith King's actually a little bit more complex than the Juggernaut.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is a very basic hero. I like that Ice Frog went the route of making him trash for like 15 patches, and they were like, well, if you're going to play Juggernaut now, you must be very good on the hero, so he made him more complex by just making him really sucky.
The only thing I wanted to say against this PL, though, for the side of Hellbearsmashers, with the Grimstroke is really good at identifying the main PL. Just with Soulbind, that's always going to latch onto the real hero, even if you hit it onto the 100th doppel or whatever juxtaposed illusion. It'll always find the real one. You can double the Soulbind this game with the Viper Strike and the Wraith King stun, and I guess a mana burn, but no one really here great to mana burn. So you got a couple of things, some nice pseudo, lock down the PL, find them. So it's a good PL game for sure, but it's by no means free. So at least that's a go one for Hellbearsmashers here.
Yeah, I feel like the other thing about Grimstroke is that if you happen, because Nyx is not the most greedy 4, right? You can play him with very little farm, and you can give Grimstroke a bit more farm, and you can rush the Ags, and that you have a really powerful Dark Portrait with PL, so that's also another point to be made. And that's why Grimstroke is usually played against illusion heroes. And I feel like Hellbearsmashers was probably planning on the PL because they didn't ban it, so either they completely forgot about him, or they were thinking, well, Grimstroke might be enough to deal with it, like Grimstroke +1 now. Because now what I'm thinking is, you probably flex the Viper as the offlane, and you put something mid here that can deal with PL decently. They've taken Leshrac and Pugnub, maybe the 2 best heroes, also Stormstormer heroes. His Invoker's in the pool. No, Invoker's actually been banned first, so that's fine. I know he plays Ember.
He played Invoker all 3 games yesterday. Same exact build, Quas Exhort.
No surprise.
It was an inspiration,
It's his best hero by a long shot.
Yeah, I would hope so. Invoker's one of your most played heroes, so you can probably relate to this, but he's got 2,600 games on the hero, so he's pretty darn good.
Yep. I wonder what they're gonna run here. Storm as the ban. Okay, interesting. So if you ban Storm, it's because you're planning to pick the Ember yourself. Is that what they're saying? I mean, I guess no. If they ban the Storm, they're planning to pick the Ember, but they don't have last pick. So PuckChamp could just block pick it and just pick the Ember themselves. And then what would you be afraid of? Kunkka. If you pick Ember here, they pick Kunkka, and they still have a good hero against your PL and against your Timbersaw. So maybe Kunkka's just better, straight up?
Yeah, I like the Kunkka.
Just so you can at least win the matchup, right? Because you need something mid for Hellbearsmashers that deals with PL.
Nyx is annoying, but Nyx is annoying for literally any mid laner that exists. You just have to kind of deal with it.
Yeah, it's only like DK that's okay with Nyx?
Yeah, pretty much.
I know Desperate plays a mean DK, and you could go for that, because then the answer would be like OD, but then if you have OD against PL, that's pretty awful. Oh, but then if you have DK, you just put the Viper mid. Oh, that's the problem. If you pick a Kunkka here, you put the Viper mid. Yeah, there's the Ember.
Okay, so they'll take the Ember. Probably have to see the Kunkka then, right, for Stormstormer?
That's what I'm expecting. Seeing as you have no other mids that can deal with PL reliably.
Gives you the cleave, gives you the X mark for the Ember, for the Timbersaw. It's actually super useful.
It's pretty good. You yourself could also go for the DK of your Hellbearsmashers, right? Depends on what Stormstormer feels comfortable with. He's also good against PL because he gets auto splash. The Timbersaw is a bit annoying, but is annoying against Kunkka too. He's good against Ember and lane as well.
I think I still like the Kunkka. They're gonna go for something a little bit different. Not what I expected.
I think this has to do more with Stormstormer's hero pool, though. And when he feels more comfortable with.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, it'll be Erasmus on the Viper then.
Yeah. I think in the case of the carry, like in the case of a carry, I was saying like, if your carry has less than a 3-hero pool, right, like 3 heroes in this pool, and you can realistically only play like 6 decently, that's a bad carry. Because honestly, if you give him enough space and farm, most carry heroes are not that difficult to play. Mid is very different. You know, I've seen some mid players that have. I mean, Faker, for example, from Infamous, has a 2-hero pool, and I'm not even kidding you. Like, genuinely, he can only play 2 heroes. He never played other heroes in his life, and he practiced a 3rd hero. He was very proud of himself. You're like, okay, dude. But I think in this case, that's why you probably don't go for the maybe better picks or picks that might be a bit easier here to play, or picks that can deal with Phantom Lancer, because you just need to pick something a Stormstormer can actually use well and he's comfortable with. Otherwise, this mid lane is going to be really difficult for him.
I don't believe you won't now. There's no way you would multi-shot because, of course, focus fire is a single. It's an attack modifier.
Yeah.
Technically, I think, yeah. So that wasn't double up. I mean, you just go for the Maelstrom Mjolnir this game, right? If you're the Windrunner, look to gank early and get activated, and I guess try and just find the PL, stop him before he can get out of control. Because I feel like eventually a PL is just going to be able to also overwhelm the Windrunner here. We don't have any way to dispel the Windrun, at least naturally. We'll probably see like a Yule Scepter on Timber, though, I would imagine this game. It feels like a good Yule's game for him, and they'll probably be able to deal with her eventually. But I think for the early game, at least, before you can get the gold to counter her, she feels strong.
Yeah, I mean, her matchup against Ember is good, right? So that's not a problem. You can play like a bit of a tempo draft against PL to some degree as well. That's pretty strong. So you can just play a fast Wind together with... I mean, yeah, you needed kind of a Space Creator mid, right? So Wind is like a carry-ish Space Creator, so you can play somewhat fast. The bigger concern, though, as you said, is how do you deal with PL, right? Ever since the Focus Fire nerf, really, because it was nerfed as in favor of Windrun, right? Now that you can't get like a 10-second Focus Fire cooldown, I think the max is 30 seconds. If you go for the cooldown reduction talent, you get it down to 20. That's still a fair amount, right? So if you want to solo kill anything that's another PL, essentially you are useless against PL from then on. Go Mjolnir. You could go for like 15 Mjolnirs. You could get extra inventory slots, and you still will not be able to deal with the PL with that hero, because you need the Focus Fire to actually, get the raise off, and you need to pretty much use the Focus Fire on the PL. So there's a hero that's like at best you can consider it a soft counter of the PL at best, but I think it's more about the tempo that they're trying to pick it here. I think that's the idea behind the Wind Ranger. Win your lane, get some tempo, try to play around the Viper and herself and the good timings, cancel the Timber Saws early, and ideally if PL can't, farm enough, then Wraith King can still deal with them with a Radiance build, so it's not too awful. Mjolnir's good because you can put Static Charge on Wraith King as well, so that helps a lot.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I like the Mjolnir. No, but I mean, you're right. It's all about the Focus Fire. The old Ags, like you said, used to give you a ridiculously short cooldown on the Focus Fire, but you're right. It is very long these days, and that's not going to be too nice when you're going to be needing, wave clear, essentially, on a single target-based hero.
I like PuckChamp's draft a bit better, though, coming to the end. I feel like HellBearSmashers have good chances, and I think the draft is solid, if you don't look at the enemy draft, but I do feel like there's a couple threats that seem unanswered for PuckChamp. I'm not too comfortable either with the Viper versus Timbersaw. It seems like a counter, but realistically, as long as you don't lane against the Viper, you shouldn't be too worried about this, right? Rarely will you be standing in Nether Toxin for too long, especially if as you suggested, he goes for the Yule Center build. I know Mel is also a really mean Timbersaw.
Yeah, also, it's the counter, as you say, is for the lane, because if getting broken doesn't remove your stacks of reactive armor. It just prevents you from getting more. So you don't care if you can just run through it or quickly timber chain through it to get to the other side. Your team might not be willing to follow you because they're going to be scared of the break and the DPS, but it's not going to, remove your regen and just put you to 0 stacks of reactive armor. Melis, he'll be okay here in the mid game, even to run down a Viper, which may look surprising, but he is a very aggressive offlaner, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they can get done, because they do need a little bit of space creation for Krelot, at least until he gets his Diffusal Blade, before he can join them and start to fight around the map a bit more.
Yeah, I also wonder what build Krelot would go for, because recently we've seen very active PLs, even skipping the Hooded Defiance, going for straight Diffusal into SNY, actually, as opposed to Manta. But if you go for that build, then you, as you said, have to fight relatively early, and I don't know how good that's going to be against a Wind Viper, right? It might be that you can't really take advantage of that early. I'm not sure. So we'll see what Krelot decides to build. Because since I've never seen him on the PL, I genuinely don't even know, what's his preferred build, how he likes to play this hero. It's all a mystery to me. And this might be the incognita that puts PuckChamp in a disadvantage. Because maybe Krelot is not too comfortable on this hero. Because I'm assuming if you haven't played it too much, either you scrimmed with it, or you're not very comfortable with the Coddle PL combo, which is a difficult combo to execute, I'd say.
Yeah, it's not the easiest one. It's got potential, but it's nothing too crazy. It's no Coddle Bristle, and I'll say that.
No,
I like the hood.
It's about the recall, right? Not about the chakra magic. So you need to know very well how to make the calls, when to fight, when not to fight, that kind of stuff. That's the harder to practice.
I still like a hood, though, especially because if there's a Radiance that's going to come online, that's going to be nice to mitigate a bit of that damage. Versus a Viper, it's always nice. It does identify your hero, but, I mean, given how much magic damage they have, that barrier will be gone on you before you know it.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I find that the hood is a good idea this game too. I also, especially because you just deny Wraithking because Wraithking cannot go for Battle Fury, right? I feel like a lot of melee carries, like even Lifestealer nowadays, as we've seen it with Battle Fury, right? So a lot of carries nowadays can go for that option, but in the case of Wraithking, that's impossible. So if he goes hood, you can't flex into a more physical damage build, and then he mitigates, as you mentioned, a lot of damage. Also, you can maybe have an easier lane against Viper just with a Ring of Health alone, right? Because that lane is Hell, so. We already saw a Ring of Regen already for Krilat, so clearly he acknowledges this lane is well, the worst.
Yeah, it's not too fun. Luckily,
not to be biased against a Viper, but you know that hero is trash.
It's kind of like laning against the Veno, where you go, well, I just need a bunch of HP regen here. The only way they can kill me, realistically, if Gilgir lands the stun, and Krilat just juked him there, so it's already boding fairly well here for Krilat. But I think you can definitely tell he's not too practiced on the Viper. I've seen him miss already 2 CS on range creep that were denied by Rasmus. Of course, getting denied by Rasmus, I think, is like, you know, hello, you're laning against Rasmus, get prepared for that. But he did miss it with Spirit Lance, right? So that's going to be a bit of a misplay there by him. But we'll see as he's continuing to stack up the farm here. He's getting used to the animation. And I'm sure as we continue on it, he'll get even better and better. But 11-0 compared to the 17-2. Viper just doing Viper things. Top lane, Tofu running down Astral, who's just going to TP away. And nope, he's not. He's going to go down. It's first blood.
It wasn't the creeps that got it. It was like 16 creeps helping him out there. It was actually Tofu. Nice little job last hitting there. This is why supports need to learn to last hit, boys. Tofu god.
That's why I practice stealing your kills.
Every single time. Yeah, Richie's very consistent about it. He's a top tier support.
I'm just practicing.
Just practicing. No, I agree. I mean, I feel like PL is one of those heroes that even if you haven't practiced in a while, though, his animation is fluid. You have a lot of base attack damage. It's not that concerning. I've seen carries when, like, for example, they pick Clinks or Drow, and like, it's the first time they've played Clinks or Drow in a while, even though it's a good pick for the draft. And you notice in the first, like, 6 waves or so, where they don't get a single last hit because it's really difficult to get used to it if you haven't played like Nyx or Drow in a while. I don't feel like sorry, Clinks, not Nyx. I don't feel like PL fulfills that category too much. Middle lane, not going too well for Stormstormer, honestly. The Wind Ranger pick seems a bit defeated here if you don't win your lane by a fair amount.
Yeah, this Arcane Rune will help out. It's a bottle refill denied from Desperate. Arcane Rune not too bad whatsoever on Stormstormer, but yeah, definitely having a bit of a tougher time. It's funny to see an Ember in the game and not see Ace playing it, but of course it was picked by PuckChamp and not by HELLBEARSMASHERS. They're pretty close in terms of CS, but right now, I think hopefully this Windrunner. I think the point of picking the Windrunner is it's not going to allow Ember to rotate as easily. Ember's still pretty safe to rotate though, because he can, if he wants to, just drop a Remnant TP to another lane, and if Windrunner starts knocking on his tier 1 tower with the Focus Fire, he'll just Remnant on back and be able to defend it pretty easily there. Compared to other laning matchups, right, where Queen of Pain has kind of taken a little while longer. Same thing with Alina, right? They've got to run to the lane or TP and then run back. So there is that benefit here for the Ember Spirit.
That is true. It's like he plays like NP or Kunkka, right, in the middle lane.
Exactly.
Gets level 6. Krilat in the bottom. We do have an Impale here. There we go. And Rasmus might be able to. No, he was waiting until he stacked the poison attack 5 times and he doppelgangered it away. Peak efficiency for Krilat here.
Ace is CSing quite comfortably as well, but Melis is getting his farm, and that's what concerns me more here in this lane. Is the fact that this Timbersaw is probably the richest hero in the game right now, and he's going to be able to boot the Wraith King into the jungle rather very, very quickly. That'll free up then a support to help down bottom, where Gilgir and Rasmus are already applying some tower pressure here with the 5-minute wagon. They even use a Fortify here to make sure they can get as much damage in as they can. Nether Toxin for the creep wave. And there's the Radiant Fortify now, but Wraith King into the jungle. He's been booted already, so they can rotate on over. Focus Fire mid lane with a haste rune for Stormstormer, but Desperate's level 6. He's got a Remnant back already here. That one didn't latch, and he's going to be safe and sound.
Yeah, without Javelin, even if you use Focus Fire, your damage is honestly negligible. It really doesn't heal much. You saw there, right? The only usefulness of like level early Focus Fires is that you can walk and attack. But besides that, I think the damage is the same as if you were just auto-attacking the person. unless you have Javelin, of course. And that's usually the point of inflection here. The thing, though, is Windranger is keeping Desperate still in lane, which is already a success because your bottom lane needs some help, right? They need to someone needs to go bottom to make sure that this Viper can't keep dominating the PL. Difference between the two carries is kind of huge right now. Even with the Ring of Health, which seems to be a Hood of Defiance build, they're just struggling here by a lot. Rasmus nearby, they're hoping to kill DOTA2LIVE, but DOTA2LIVE a bit too fast on his horse.
You can't catch him, dude. His model's just really weird. Like,
so lean, dude.
He's very lean. He never dies. Okay, there's Astral. I was about to say, because with Wraith King booted into the jungle, they can just let Timbersaw run that lane over by himself, and he'll be fine. Of course, you know, he's not going to be too scared of a Grimstroke alone. I think he can take him. And like you're saying, Kreelot really needs this help. Gilger, he's probably going to... Oh, he missed, actually, that time, but does get at least the stun onto Kreelot. Astral is now going to show up. This is going to make the lane a bit more difficult for the HELLBearsMASHERS as they finally get rid of that wagon. And we'll see how PuckChamp can try and recover the farm here for Kreelot, who is going to be going back into the power treads now. So just a casual Ring of Health. I don't think he wants to complete the full Hood by the looks of it.
Not yet, right? I mean, you kind of need the Trides because you realize that your lane went so badly. Even if you complete Hood here, like, what does it do to help you farm? Whereas Trides at least will give you a bit of attack speed, and you can move between camps a bit more efficiently. I feel like this PL understands that. I mean, this lane was just awful for him. There's not much you can do. You need to recover against this Wraith King. Even if you went for the Fusible Blade build right now, you wouldn't be able to fight early on. Wraith King has really good net worth. He's managed to mitigate the Timbersaw's impact early. Like, despite whatever happened mid lane, you got the off lane of your dreams here as HELLBearsMASHERS. And Viper can be as impactful as Timbersaw as well when he rotates.
Very true. No. Especially that slow is on Viper Strike is super punishing to Desperate, who's solely reliant on using that Remnant to escape. But your Remnant speed is dependent on your move speed, and if you're not moving very fast, neither is your Remnant, and that's a pretty easy kill for the likes of a Viper. As top lane, we'll see Melis get to work onto Tofu. Yeah, go ahead, take a dive into the tier 1 tower. The water's nice and warm here with the max reactive stacks of the armor. They have gotten, no, they've not gotten the tier 1 down bottom, as Melis will finally get this kill. Had to work hard for it, but he's going to find it eventually. It looks like Desperate, he TP'd. Yeah, so he TP'd bottom and then he remnanted back. So he actually defends bottom just by rotating, and then he doesn't miss any farm. Nice move there by Desperate.
Yeah, they acknowledge that if he goes bottom, is one of the issues I had when I was commenting earlier, which is that even if you go bottom, can you really kill the Viper with an Ember? I don't think so, honestly. Even with the help of the Coddle. I say help of the Coddle, Jesus Christ. As if he would do anything against a Viper. Like, it's just a lane that the best thing you can do is exactly what he did there, right? Use Coddle or Ember as kind of pseudo dead laners, try to relieve some pressure, and just tell the PL to leave. Kreelot just needs to never go to that bottom lane ever again. But now, by extension, Viper could rotate mid, perhaps, to defend this mid tower. He's already putting a fair amount of pressure, but Timbersaw's here. So Melis already wanted to play aggressively. Interestingly, he rotates this early, right? Even before taking the tier 1, because he saw the Viper and he just doesn't want to face him at all. Oh, you cannot disjoint that projectile, dude. Not like that.
It's a good effort to illusion dodge it. I'm surprised he didn't want to save it to maybe look to fight underneath this tier 1 tower, but Ace, I think, he's a bit too scary right now. And there goes Rasmus. He's just going to locate Kreelot, who dodges the Viper Strike projectile. Tofu chasing down, but they've got the wrong one. Nice jukes by Kreelot here. He's going to go for the TP. Unfortunately, got a bit too cute with it, and he will still go down. Rasmus and now Tofu in trouble, though, as Desperate's going to be easily able to claim their lives in return, along with the damage out from Melis. And they will also find Astral. That's Stormstormer with the solo kill. Gilger may actually get Desperate. He's out of mana. No, I think, unfortunately, the Windrunner is too far away. Even with the Javelin, you need to be able to close the gap there.
Quite a win, though. Nice little Javelin flex there. Right? Immediately gets Javelin, goes to gank the enemy triangle where you know the PL is because you're already forced him out of bottom. So it's a good use of the spaces there by HELLBearsMASHERS. Good read in general. Acknowledging that, yes, definitely PL will be farming in the safest space ever. Ace is pretty much done with Armlet if he wants to finish it, but he might just go for Radiance, because if you're saving this much for Armlet and you haven't bought it yet, most likely, there we go. Yeah.
There it is.
Ace felt the greed, and he just changed for Radiance immediately. I think if you get a really early Radiance this game, it's very justified. Usually I'm a big fan of Armlet Radiance, but this game you just need to get it as soon as possible, so you can have someone that can deal with PL's illusions. And then once Windranger has enough damage to solo kill the PL with Focus Fire, that's when you're good to go. Right. And the enemy team is going to struggle against you.
Melis this. It's just going to be, and the another note to the Radiance is it does pair nicely with this power spike that you get with the Maelstrom on the Windrunner. So Melis might not be, you know, as godlike as he currently feels. He's going to be killable rather early on because of this mid lane Windrunner pick, as we can see. Going back now for the Mithril Hammer to complete that, knocking on the door of this tier 1 tower. This dude Coddle's going to TP in and promptly lose half of his HP to 1 power shot. Casual Coddle things, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the hero is incredibly tanky. He's almost unkillable. But a power shot, you know, pierces right through his heart, right? So it does happen sometimes. What can we do about it, Richie? If only his model was not so lean.
There's a 3% chance of him running around that he falls and breaks his hip. It's a real problem. There's now Tofu.
Are you being ageist about Coddle? Gee.
No, of course not.
I don't want any of
but there's certain things he's going to be weak to. It's just a fact. You got to be aware of that. You have to check on your elders every now and then. It is very dangerous. It's a real thing. It's not ageist to deny the fact.
That's why he has a hard time when you pick Coddle and Radiant. He actually has to stop every couple of seconds and wave his finger, wave his fist, and go, "Get out of my lawn!" If Dire has no grass, then he's perfectly fine. Right?
Then he's perfectly
Coddle's
fine.
a Dire hero.
Yeah, he says, "Get out of here, you whippersnapper." He's also got to call all 110 of the heroes because he made all of them except for, of course, Wisp, CK, and Enigma. He doesn't call them. He goes, "Hello, you never call. PL, you're always too busy."
Well, that's why he gets recalled instead. PL.
See, there it is. There's the joke. There's the bit, everyone.
He was just annoying, waiting a bit. I like Rasmus's build here. They had to go for Boots of Travel early. He acknowledges that it's most likely that PuckChamp, if they're smart, they're going to avoid fights as much as possible. So best thing Rasmus can do right now is just try to go from lane to lane, right? Putting pressure in the lanes and not trying to force engagements just yet. It's not like your window opportunity is so strong right now that you can force any kind of fight anywhere. You really just want to force around your towers. And similarly, PuckChamp is smart enough that they're not going to do that to you. So the best way to put pressure is just to keep putting pressure in all the lanes and just secure farm for Wraith King, who is, again, much more farmed than your PL right now.
Right, and I believe this is also a counterplay to something that we see PuckChamp like to do. I mean, obviously this is great versus the Embers. He's going to go top lane and try and catch him, but he's, I think, going to be a bit too late. They do have the Nyx Assassin here. They've connected on the Impale Viper Strike, and out of mana here for our desperate mid laner. He's going to go down, so obviously it's going to help out for instances like that. But also, we know that PuckChamp, whenever they play the Coddle, they always actually bait rotations. This is something we saw in the DPC lower division, as I recall, where they would like TP someone top lane. I think we saw Brame do this as well. They like TP someone top and they would show in the lane super aggressively with the rest of their team waiting down bottom. And then they would just recall them bottom and then push bottom after they got like a couple of rotations out from them.
Yeah, I've noticed that from PuckChamp particularly, though I feel like it's a bit different because when PuckChamp does it, it's like, oh wow, what a masterful play. Clearly you're planning this, whereas Brame, it just seems like SSA Spartan's like, no dude, we're going to fight. Where are you going? Just brings him back. Recalled immediately. Not a chance to do his own plays.
Yeah. It's the ultimate move from Spartan. He knows, he's like, no. If I would walk up there, I would die because there are enemies there. So I'm going to recall you over here where it's safe.
I mean, one of the reasons why I mainly play Coddle in my pubs is genuinely because my stupid carry is always farming in the wrong space. I just recall him and save his life every, like, I don't know, 15 seconds. It's very convenient. It's very convenient. Great hero for your pubs, guys. Coddle is a great hero to play with idiots. It's just made for morons, really. Waste your spell? No problem. Chakra magic to save you. Oh, can you not catch up to the enemy hero? Solar Bind, no problem. Are you losing lane equilibrium?
Enemies?
Illuminate solves it.
5 enemies surrounding you while doing physical damage, blinding light. Get you out of there.
The hero's made for morons. Like, are you out of position in general? Do you not know how to play Dota? Coddle's here to save you, dude. He is wonderful.
I could see it. I could see it. Viper. I mean, this hero, he's so damn toxic that he turned himself into a pickle. And I'd
much rather pickle than turtle, though. The turtle one freaks me out.
Yeah, I agree. Actually. I completely agree with you. But Rasmus, with the Boots of Travel, I mean, he's all over the place now. He's actually the second richest hero in the game. Of course, he does farm a bit faster than the Windrunner. And with the Boots of Travel, he farms incredibly faster now. But that might change now that the Maelstrom is out for the Windrunner. We might actually see HELLBEARSMASHERS look to maybe smoke and get another pick off here. Although, to be honest, they're kind of happy at the pace of this game, because they've already caught Desperate once. They've not caught the PL, I believe, but they've gotten kills here and there, and that's, I think, enough to feed the beast that is the early game needs of HELLBEARSMASHERS. Melis has the Hood of Defiance ready to go. That'll help a bit versus the Maelstrom procs at the very least. Going next into the Yule Scepter. So it's just defensive items immediately from the Timbersaw, as you tend to see, to make sure that he's actually able to continue tanking.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Wind Ranger has an easy time killing Timbersaw, even with Maelstrom, because you still give him all the reactive armor stacks, right? So it depends on how, like, you know, if you have a bit of tankability like Radiance, or sorry, like Hood of Defiance, you're already good to go. Radiance, though, which is what I was thinking about in my mind, and skipped right over to it. Almost done an ace, as he's also been putting a fair amount of pressure.
It's on the way, flying to him, being delivered by the courier.
Quite a nice early game for this Wraith King, right? Compare his impact to the PL's impact, and it's just not the same. Because PL just can't put the same amount of lane pressure Wraith King can. So they're playing this half-half. It seems like they have an idea to play around the Wraith King timing still, but they're still utilizing the tempo elements in their draft to try to get like a small advantage in this early mid game. So that when they finally get to the window opportunity and PL's also farmed enough, you have an advantage, at least in map control, which is a good idea. I think it's the best way to take advantage of the Wraith King.
Oh, there goes Ducalis. He slipped in another Toxin, broke his hip and died. Melis is in some trouble mid lane though. Nice Impale to cut off the Timber Chain, but Stormstormer, he still is going to lack the damage there. Nearly 50 regen a second with max reactive armor stacks, as well as that Hood of Defiance, also reducing the lightning strikes about, what, like 10%, I believe, passively on top of the 25%. So he's still not an easy kill, as you say. He's nice and tanky, but they might have the tools to kill him, especially now with the Rod of Atos finished up. We have a cane. It looks like I always thought Rod of Atos looked like a cane. You know, like the icon.
Like a cane? It just looks like a
Yeah.
stick, dude. What's I don't understand what the difference. Like a cane is just a stick, a glorified stick.
A cane has a handle because you need to support yourself on it, right?
It's a bent stick. It's the same thing. It's a stick, dude.
No, it's like a hand. It's got a handle. You're good to go.
I mean, I feel like English people are very pompous with their language, right? A fork is just a stick with multiple sticks on the end of it. A knife is just a sharp stick, okay? Everything is just variations of sticks here. All this high and mighty tech. I'm not a tech person myself.
A fork is not a stick. It needs to have a flat platform with the extra sticks. Otherwise, it's useless. It's not a stick with extra sticks at the end of it. It needs to have a flat
stick
platform
with extra sticks at the end of it. There you go. There you go.
It needs to also be bent.
Yeah, it's a bent stick with extra bent sticks at the end of it.
Look how complicated this is becoming. Astral's stolen Impale, though. We've got the D ward, at least from Gilger, and now without Spike Carapace. Nope, they're not going to be able to get him, as he's going to be able to escape into the Whispers, or into the night like a Whisper, rather, with the Vendetta. No longer breaks, of course. That's been a thing since 7.28b, but, you know, the relevance in case you're wondering why he's, I don't know, not breaking reactive armor, even though, as we've already said, that's not the best thing to break in this game. Although I guess it is, but it's not worth breaking usually in general.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that people exaggerated the nerf more than I did. Like, it was relevant, right, against certain heroes, but I thought it was still fine. Nyx is still strong, right? Nyx was never strong because of the break. Nyx was strong because the meta favors him, right? Nyx is a hero. It's always an answer to the meta.
Yep.
Also, Nyx is strong because a lot of strong fours are currently in competitive Dota. Like Gilger shows, right? I think he's gotten a couple of Earth Spikes, or not Earth Spikes, sorry, Impales here, that are just based off of his ability alone. The more, like, the better people become at this game, you know, the easier heroes like Nyx become as a 4, because he's a particularly complex hero to play.
Yeah, I mean, Impale can be sent out as a skill shot completely unironically, because it's got a little bit of extra sort of a hit range on that last spike. It's one of your favorite facts to say, and it is true, though, so you can throw that out and actually connect on a little bit of a more generous AoE than you might expect, given its visual appearance. As I think there's a smoke play from PuckChamp. Indeed. Desperate leading the charge. There's a ward, though, so they see Ducalis, and they see Coddle. They want to kill Coddle. Gilger, though, Invis is going to break the smoke of Astral. They don't have detection nearby. Sitting inside the break, another Toxin is going to be the Rubik. Down he goes in exchange, at least for Gilger, as the Soulbind not connecting onto anyone. Ducalis, though, is going to be killed by the Stroke of Fate from Tofu. Melis running at Rasmus, as Stormstormer has already committed the Focus Fire onto Desperate. He still has that bonus attack speed. He's been latched to the tree, and look at the Maelstrom box. Down he goes. They're also showing up to fight here with the Krelat PL, and I think he's not yet ready to fight here.
No, Shackle Shot. Actually, might be able to kill him. The Ghost Strike still deals a fair amount of damage here. And Stormstormer's just looking for the final power shot. Not going to get it. Can he cancel his DP? Just one more hit of damage. Oh, he needed the proc there. Instead gets it for the Timbersaw. and appropriately say etokege. We can't kill the PL, but we can't kill all the other cores there. The intention by Ember to come back into the fight, despite the fact that you already had focus fire on him, that was maybe a bit of a mistake. I feel like once you waste the focus fire, it's either the heroes that don't have focus fire on them to come back in, and then Ember like playing around. I guess he wasn't expecting to get caught by the shackle shot. Either or, HELLBEARSMASHERS is looking much stronger right now, just because PL hasn't come online. So you already have enough to deal with PL just with Wraith King existing alone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was surprised that he even showed up back in that fight, like you're saying. With focus fire, it's going to last a while longer, and they might even catch him again here. Another big old crit there. He's going to be invis, but they got the dust for the Glimmer Cape. Oh, there was too many zombies there. They weren't expecting Desperate to still be in the sleight of fist there, but they spawned the zombies, so a bit of miscommunication. Or maybe Gilgir just wasn't expecting that, as another telekinesis does not stop Gilgir. They're going to throw the stun at him. Stolen, but big Spike Carapace here stuns just about everything. They're going to scout him now. Another Impale onto the PL, into another Wraith Fire Blast, but they shouldn't be a kill. In fact, they might turn this onto Ace, who's slowed by the Solar Bind. It's going to end. They've got the Fusel Blade. Oh, unfortunately, he dies before they can burn the mana. Stormstormer's back, though, and he's on the back lines with the BKB active. Power Shot's beautiful, connecting onto 2, getting the kill onto Krelat. The Stormstormer might go for more. Down goes Desperate. He's not done yet. Melis, though, he's going to be a little bit too tanky with the Hood of Defiance underneath the Tier 2 tower, and now he's done because there's 4 dead heroes for PuckChamp.
Yeah, that Viper impact in the laning side just being noticed even to this moment, dude. I mean, he's done so much, and despite Melis being a pretty decent Timbersaw, he alone cannot have as much impact as, well, 3 cores pretty much on HELLBEARSMASHERS, while playing quite aggressively, playing to choke you to death. Melis trying to catch the Wind Ranger. I don't think Stormstormer is going to be in trouble, though. Just TP's in front of Melis. You already wasted Yuljiel Scepter, so you're fine. And now HELLBEARSMASHERS just here to enlarge their map and continue to have this advantage. With a 7k lead, you're very, very comfortable. You're not afraid of PL getting anything really at this point, and you can just keep farming on your Wraith King, sorry. He's going to be looking. Game is yours right now as HELLBEARSMASHERS. It has to be a couple mistakes that they make, or them taking too long to finish this game for PuckChamp to be able to come back. Alright, well, sorry about that, guys. Just a brief disconnection here as the Timbersaw falls in the bottom lane. It does seem like HELLBEARSMASHERS will be currently continuing their lead as they pushed out the mid tower as well. And now with a soon to have Ags on Stormstormer in addition to that BKB, they're just going to continue to chase down any of these stragglers by PuckChamp. Maelstrom already completed as well on Wraith King. Interesting. So he's going for the doubly PL build to make sure they can always deal with him. He's actually playing on Mjolnir, which is the old Wraith King way to deal with the PL before Radiance was very popular. I think it's appropriate. You get it before it becomes a problem, and by then PL will just be an easy kill for your team. Mjolnir's also really awesome for Wraith King in general.
Then he's got the Egg Shard. He's almost level 20, so even if this was the old quote-unquote PL with the level 20 talent of no reincarnation mana cost, he'd nearly have that one already. But with the Egg Shard, he's good to go. He's not scared of no Diffusal Blade PL any longer. He doesn't care about the kitties. Desperate top lane for Rasmus. They cannot cancel the TP, unfortunately. And he's free to go. In the meantime, oh no, there's too many zombies, too many lightnings, Brocs, and just too much damage there from Melis, as he's going to go down surrounded by 5, more like surrounded by 15 with all the zombies that Ace had. They're just turn this into a Roshan. With Timbersaw dead, there's really no way you can even approach the pit right now and contest this. And they'll be getting this one down well before he respawns. Maybe, yeah, I think you give this one to Stormstormer and you just let him run up your high ground, right? Oh, DOTA2LIVE, what a steal. What a thief. He's going to go down for that one, but he dies for the bounty rune for his team. And in
Which
fact,
would be
power
fine
shot
if it
just
wasn't,
misses.
because what you're needing right now is not gold, right? You're just needing to deep push these lanes. They're looking scarier and scarier. I know you're gonna deal with the wind either. That almost has the Ags as well. She's gonna be so mobile now with the Ags and BKB. Similarly with the Wraith King, very close to the Mjolnir. You get the hard to Rask on PL in a straight hard to Rask, not even SNY if I'm mistaken, which is fine. But this build is usually when the enemy team has no ways to counter you, and that's true in this case. Until you get Mjolnirs, until you get the Wind Ranger Focus Fire target onto you, and then the extra tank ability with hard to Rask won't seem as strong here. Stormstormer, yeah, there's the Axe doing work, dude. Astral gonna die to the Focus Fire. At least if you eat the Focus Fire, then it's out for PL, so that's pretty good. Instead, they go for the Ember, as they can't kill Astral just yet. Desperate will be able to survive this. The Shackle Shot doesn't even hit him. And the HELLBEARSMASHERS, they will lose 2 potential kills. In fact, they might even lose a Wraith King in the process from behind. Krillot thinking about this, but deciding it's a bad idea. He's still a bit afraid of this Wraith King.
Yeah, I think that's the wise decision to make. When they still have Soulbind, they can very easily turn that one right around on you. And that's not a risk worth taking here, because essentially if you lose one more fight with, you know, Aegis already still on HELLBEARSMASHERS and their 11k net worth lead, the game's kind of over from there. Full Mjolnir finish for Wraith King, so he's got that bonus attack speed. Stormstormer, and as well as like Gilgir, they're just farming here in the enemy triangle. They might be caught, though. Stormstormer, well, not likely to catch him, at least, with the Ags and the Wind Run. Do they have detection for Gilgir? It doesn't look like it, so he's just going to be free to leave. There's the sentry, but it's far too little too late. And there's the hit. Yeah, of course, PuckChamp, a primarily Russian team, so that voice line's going to hit extra hard for them, which is why HELLBEARSMASHERS have a tendency to spam it a bit, as they did in their previous best-of-5 matchup there for Snowsuit Zone number 1. PuckChamp with a sense of humor that they'll spam it back and forth, though, so they're not, you know, extremely, you know, too salty about that or anything like that. But you know, it'll hit harder for them for sure. It's probably the Russian equivalent of "this is looking spicy."
What, etagage?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a very spammable lie. It just means this is GG here.
Well, I know, yeah.
DOTA2LIVE. Yep, I die here. I don't think it's looking too spicy for them. I just think they're calling out and being like, nah, dude, we got this. They know they have this because they've already itemized against the only threat that could happen, which is the PL, right? You let the Wraith King farm a ridiculous amount. There's no fathomable scenario in which the Wraith King should be 7k above your PL. He's not even like a fast farmer as a hero. I mean, he's okay. They go for the Timbersaw here in the top lane. Stormstormer taking a while thanks to the Focus Fire, but it's going to work eventually. It's just a matter of time and patience. And Melis, even with the Timber Chains, they try to TP. Do they have anything to cancel his TP? They do. Shackle Shot will ensure that Timbersaw goes down.
Yep, and another volley of voice lines here from the HELLBEARSMASHERS, who may or may not be muted at this point already. I don't know. I might make that decision if I was playing on PuckChamp right now. Frees up a little bit of space to repush mid and bottom, but Gilgir on the hunts for Desperates. We've probably got Boots of Travels in about 10 seconds for Rasmus if they want to try and make the rotation here. It's Desperate, of course. He's not going to know anyone's around him. Oh, now he will know, thanks to the Sentry Ward that's randomly sitting in the lane at 30 minutes in, but they did get a stun off with a spiked Carapace. Luckily, he still can TP out. He's got BKB if worse comes to worse, but it doesn't look like Gilgir's going to be able to catch him here.
I mean, right now, if you can't if you can't get pickoffs, even cutting the lane seems a bit dangerous because of the optimization of Ace, right? Because he's already readied himself for potential late game PL shenanigans, even with Doppelganger. I don't even know what build the PL's going to be.
Oh, the caught Ember.
Lane. They fund the Ember. Shackle Shot, Focus Fire as well. Is that going to be enough damage? Glimmer Cape saving him. Atos giving vision again. And thanks to that Sentry, they can at least finish off Desperate. Now, as you know, the ultimate counter to Cores is just Glimmer Cape. DOTA2LIVE will die as well to Ace in the backlines. Seems like Ace wants more. Seems like Ace wants Astral, but Ace realizing he might be a bit too far in, so he decides to back out in time. Has Basher now as well.
Yeah, I mean, this game is just looking almost impossible right now for PuckChamp to recover from. The net worth lead is so immense. You saw it drop there by a little bit because of, I don't know, someone probably dropped their items, but it's 15K. PL's got a heart, but I don't think that's going to be enough to save him here. That means that he won't get one shot, and maybe it's going to take more than just the Windrunner killing him, but it won't take much more. And Ace is, well, he's a lot more than just a Windrunner at this stage already, like you said, with the Basher, Radiance, Mjolnir, and the Blink Dagger, so he's able to close the gap very easily. I mean, we've not even had to see like any amazing plays from the supports this game either, you know, on the side of HELLBEARSMASHERS. It's just been the cores really getting the job done. It's a great game to be playing a support.
Yeah, honestly, these three cores have been really dominant. I feel like they've done a really good performance. I feel like in this game, the execution from HELLBEARSMASHERS has been considerably better than PuckChamp, to be honest. I mean, obviously, they had an easier time because their lanes already benefited them. So then they just went from like a strong laning stage into like a powerful mid game that took advantage of this. But I just, even despite that, it just feels like their execution has been much more on point. They've been going for the right kills. They've been itemizing correctly, farming much more efficiently. They haven't really sacrificed many heroes.
No, there's Kalis. Speaking of sacrifice, he was pushing the mid lane.
He is literally human sacrifice.
Oh, I think they got Ember.
Well, not actually a human.
No. Yes, they did. No, that's right. That's just the Astral Rubik, but he does have buyback, but Ducalis does not.
You can just push towers now. I mean, I guess maybe you can wait for the next Roshan if you feel like there's a need for it.
Killer just blinking. Hit me!
He missed the spike card. They catch PL though, broke him. Okay, Desperate from behind. And Desperate is trying to get kills on the support, so probably his best bet right now. But the Mjolnir is hard to deal with Ace. He has the shard, so he's fine to die once. He's also going to summon a bunch of skeletons. The Soulbind puts Desperate in a bad position, and that's going to murder Desperate once, perhaps a second time. He's still rooted into their Toxin. Can they get a stun off? They can't for now. And Desperate will survive. Ace doesn't want to play too aggressively since he lost Reincarnation, but they see the opportunity to go for a dieback, and they will get it. Tofu finishing off Desperate as Rasmus has been helped by the Inkswell. PL not wanting to go any further into this. Ace just biding his time until Reincarnation's back up, and there's Focus Fire again onto the PL. Blinding Light saving his life though, and the Wraith Fire Blast will annoy him, but Ace comes back in. Now see that he can fight the PL head on. Krillat cannot really withstand this damage. Glimmer can try to save him. Cores don't have dust, so in comes Nyx to try to stun him, but again without any vision. For now, Krillat will barely survive until Ace gets the final hit onto him and sentences him to death. He's also looking to finish the enemy supports, and he will do so. Ace finishing off the whole enemy team and forcing out the GG.
And there is the attack from PuckChamp. Was Desperate BKB'd on his first life, and then he immediately remnanted back in? Was that what happened into the Rod of Atos, and he died pretty much on his second life?
He remnanted back in after he bought back, yes.
Well, nice play by Rasmus there, just saving the Rod of Atos. That's something I suffer from. I just kind of throw all my utility out as soon as I see an enemy. I get too excited. But he was waiting patiently. He probably knew that, well, there's a remnant right there. Using his contextual clues and his deductory skill, he probably knew Desperate was wanting to make a jump right back in there. Save the Rod of Atos for him. Sorry?
I was going to say, genuinely, I think he used the Atos in the beginning of the fight, and he just came off cooldown when he came back on the map.
Could have been.
Chance. I don't think he was saving it.
Nice play.
I'm pretty certain because I saw him use it multiple times in that team fight. I just thought it was like, I just thought the play by the Ember was also one of those like desperate plays. You just go, yeah, I'm doing my best, try to do something for a losing game. It's not much you can do.
It was definitely a very desperate trademark game for sure. And unfortunately, it didn't work out here for PuckChamp as they will go down in game number 1. HELLBEARSMASHERS looking to try and repeat their victory in the Snow Sweet Snow number 1 grand finals. We'll see if they can get it done in 2 or if PuckChamp will force a decisive game 3. You guys are watching the Snow Sweet Snow lower bracket finals with Seek and Strike Dota and Avo Plus. We're going to be back after a 10-minute break. We'll see you then. bracket final. It's PuckChamp versus HELLBearSMASHERS. I don't know why I doubted myself there, because it's the rematch from Snow Sweet Snow #1. I have a plus Secret Strike Dota here on the call with you. Hoping for a little bit of a closer game #2 here, personally, Avo. I don't know about yourself, but it looked a lot better. Or PuckChamp looked a lot better in the Grand Final Season 1, and they've come a long way since then. So have HELLBearSMASHERS, to be honest. But I was still surprised to see that game end as decisively as it did.
If you have a team that has less competitive experience, right? You might have more fresh ideas per se, but you just have less ideas. You have played for less time. Whereas you play anything, any iteration of Heroes, and Misery's like, I've seen this once. Of course you have. You're older than Dota, dude. Like, no wonder. You literally have seen every single combination possible. So with Rasmus on the enemy team, what do you do, dude? You know, how do you surprise this man? He's seen everything.
Well, it's true. Top 6 TI finisher. I think he's seen a couple of different strategies in his day, and he knows how to play against I mean, it sounds mean, but kind of like a half-baked strategy, right? That PuckChamp we're kind of trying to go for, and then nothing really ever came together, unfortunately. You know, you got to wait for the yeast to rise, and then you got to, you know, like change the. Actually, I don't know. I never got into cooking bread during the pandemic, like a bunch of other people have.
No,
I've heard that there's a whole thing. It's a whole thing to cook bread.
No, you get dough, you wait for the yeast to rise, and once the yeast has risen, you bake it, and then bread.
And then bread. And
then
it's
very simple. It's like you just do something with dough, and then the dough at one point in the oven turns into bread. I'm not really sure how or when.
Dough? That's what Homer Simpson says when he slaps himself in the face.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what you actually have to do with the bread. You know, you ever heard the people like doing the, you know, like they put it against the table? That's how youngsters do it. But in the older days, it was with your face because we didn't have tables, right?
We didn't have tables, of course.
No. So you have to do it with your face. That's why my head is square.
It's true, you
just
know.
Just to make bread.
Yeah, Alvaro was born, and they were like, "Oh, Dios mío,
el niño pan." Oh!
The bread boy. Oh, that's great. That's great.
We have another draft
that
is going quite fast. As per usual, whenever they get a chance, Smashers will always pick up the Tidehunter. They think it's a very valuable pick. I think so as well. I think this hero is kind of broken, not going to lie. They need to nerf Gush a bit. The hero can win almost every lane. But there's 3 heroes that beat him. Monkey King, Ursa, and Juggernaut. They don't ban a single one of them. And so, since they picked the Monkey, they're going to have to face the Ursa. It was quite funny.
It's terrifying.
Not to even protect the Tidehunter. Usually they do.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanna even point that out. Sometimes against a Tidehunter, you'll also see a Grimstroke ban, because you're right, Monkey King, Ursa, and Jug eat a Tidehunter for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the lane, and basically almost at any stage of the game, to be completely honest with you. But they kill him, and they really, really basically chop off his legs, and he just doesn't get a start when you have the Grimstroke in the lane, because the kills are trivial. Honestly, kills are trivial with Stroke of Fate. You do have a Shadow Shaman here, but it's easy. You just kill the Shaman with the Inkswell combo, and then as soon as Earthshock is ready, you go for the Tidehunter.
It's a tough fight. I do find that Jug and Monkey King are the strongest counters in the lane, particularly, but I agree with you that Ursa, particularly in the mid game, can be a real big doozy, because you just jump on Tide, and if you even dare to take out your tentacles as Tidehunter, he enrages immediately, right? So it's very difficult for you to protect him. So I like that pick by PuckChamp quite a lot. Though I do think that the draft by Smashers, besides this lane, is pretty solid. You know, you have some really good zone out on the Monkey King, good catch on the Shadow Shaman, save on the Oracle. They have everything. It's a very Misery style draft. I feel like Rasmus is a kind of player that just... I rarely see his drafts and go, ooh, this is bad because of X and Y. Usually his drafts are just solid, and they have like maybe weaknesses to a single hero, but they don't have any very obvious weakness. So I like seeing him a lot.
Well, you know what it is it's someone with this amount of experience. I think they recognize that at the end of the day, I mean, yes, you can think of Dota and your Dota career and your tournament wins and everything as a singular instance of what happened in this game, or I made a mistake in this game. Or you can think of it in the grander scheme and go, if I cover my bases each and every single draft, I'm going to give myself the best win rate percentage, right? If I can bump up my win rate just by 5% by picking the right heroes, you know, and constantly minimize my chances to make a mistake or make the game as easy as possible, I'm going to win more games. Yes, I'm good, but that allows me to make a couple mistakes in the game. You know, like if you want to be the greatest ever in Dota, not only do you have to practice probably like 8 to 12 hours a day and show up to every single tournament, but you also have to be almost perfect in all of those tournaments. And I think, you know, checking all the boxes that a draft needs early on and getting a solid draft every time is like such a huge benefit here. And being as experienced as Rasmus is, I think he's seen a fair share of drafts, and he's got a lot of experience under his belt.
Final pick by PuckChamp is going to be a Mars to bring up a bit more team fight to your side. I think Mars against Monkey King is a particularly nice matchup because, well, obvious reasons why you destroy trees. Monkey King hates that. And you round up your draft. PuckChamp is very similar. I don't think that they have any weaknesses in their draft. Maybe the late game, I think Ursa scales nicely, especially with they have a Mars to be a secondary damage source and Puck being your main initiation. It's a really good draft by PuckChamp.
Yeah, the only thing they're lacking is early game tower pressure. Puck's okay, Mars is okay, right?
Mars
like they can clear the waves.
Decent, though, at doing that.
Yeah, I mean they clear the waves, but it's no Windrunner, right? It's no Lesh, it's no who else is great? It's no DK, right? Like they don't have anything bespoke for hitting towers, and that's fine. You don't need that, but I think it's going to be a bit difficult to take fights early on, especially like if HellBearSmashers commit to a fight and use an ulti or two, then it's easy. You take a tower immediately after, it's a one fight. But if they still have ultis, and even if it's just Monkey King with like Oracle respawning in 3 seconds, you're probably going to have to back away from any objective here. And I think that's going to be a real weakness for this PuckChamp lineup because they don't take objectives quickly, except for Roche, of course, with Ursa.
Again, the final pick of Wind Ranger. I don't know. I don't know about this pickup this time. Like last time, at least I saw, okay, like Wind Ranger's decent against Ember, right? You have a good lane. It suits your lineup. I think it's fine. You win in tempo against PL. So I didn't think it was the best pick, but I thought it was a solid pick. But usually, I mean, at least from the mid players I've spoken to, Puck beats the Wind Ranger in lane and otherwise because Dreamcall is very annoying against Wind Ranger in general. It's very easy to land against her. Your Wind Run's kind of useless against the Puck because you have so much damage as well. Waiting Rift can be a brutal ability to initiate against Wind Ranger because you can't Wind Run away. So not sure about the Wind Ranger pick. Not sure what it accomplishes here. Because I guess it's decent against the Ursa. If you get like a shackle shot early and you just burst them down. Against Mars, I also find for similar issues because you just activate Bulwark, right? And then even if she is hitting you from the side, you just need to walk back, just literally, right? And Wind Ranger needs to play that little surrounding game against you. And if she does that, Ursa can punish you, etc., etc. She is good against the Ursa in the sense that she can't be killed easily by Ursa, though. So you can kind of sort of kite the Ursa. But with a Puck and a Mars, that becomes less powerful. I feel like this time it's much more of a comfort pick than like this seems like a big comfort pick here for Stormstormer. I know he plays a solid Wind Ranger.
Yeah, there's even a bit of anti-synergy where there's a possibility that maybe you cut down a tree that Monkey King's about to land on and, you know, whoops, we've stunned him for 4 seconds.
That is true. That is true. I mean, that rarely going to happen in a pro team, but you're right. It is a good consideration to be made. I'm thinking of the pool of heroes for Stormstormer. I mean, they banned this Invoker. Invoker was just so perfect this game. It was really, really solid, actually. It must suck that you have Stormstormer on your team and you know, I can never draft Invoker again. Like, nobody's ever going to let me pick that hero for this guy.
I don't know. I mean, they let it through yesterday, all 3 games. So that was against Creep Wave. So, of course, I think they were watching those games and they're going to go in and ban out the Stormstormer Invoker because damn was he good. Damn was he good. Went for the Aghanim Shard, which we've seen, I believe, up from Toronto, Tokyo, as well as both Stormstormers. So a lot of the like really high-level Invoker players are spammers, even you might say, which I think is another like title that demands respect. Are going for this Aghanim Shard on the Invoker for the Ice Wall. They don't take the talent, of course, but they still take it just for the amount of lockdown it gives you. So I think it's probably being slept on, this Ag Shard, I think. Everyone goes, oh, vector targeted ice wall. Who cares? But it's really damn good.
But yeah, I think it's pretty awful. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's pretty awful. I think if you're a good Invoker player, you don't need that ever. I think good Invoker players have already practiced how to make the perfect ice walls, even without the need of the vector targeting. Like, it's good if you like my first Invoker game. You know, I think it's fine. I would use it, but I feel like it's not good enough.
I would use it too, but I mean, if Stormstormer also uses it, I feel like there's a reason.
No, sure. I mean, but it used it as like a first item, or was like it was like a 5th item, right? It was like 5th.
It was closer to. It wasn't the first item, but it was like the 3rd or 4th. Like he got it pretty. You know, it was core, I would call it, right? It wasn't a luxury item.
Okay, that's interesting. Because like In the case of Stormstormer, though, I feel like one of the justifications that might be done for that build is if you want to play exclusively Quas Wex, which I know he does. Like, I know he doesn't flex into Exhort really early. He likes staying in the Quas Wex.
He would go Exhort Invoker, and he still picked it up.
Really?
That's what surprised me the most about it. Yeah, I swear.
Wow.
He played all 3 games, Quas, Exhort, Invoker, same exact build into the Midas, into not Boots of Travel. It might have been Boots of Travel even. He played like the same style. It was really interesting, and that's why I was surprised about it. That's why my take on it is so, well, maybe it is a lot better than I give it credit for, because I was under the same impression, to be honest, as you were. And then I saw 3 games of Stormstormer picking it up, and I went, damn, this thing is fucking busted.
Interesting. Okay, I mean, Iceberg, when the shard came out, said it was one of the best shards in the game. So maybe. I mean, honestly, maybe there's something there that I'm not seeing. I'd be happy for Stormstormer to educate me, though. I mean, he is definitely a much better Invoker player.
Well, maybe if there's a game 3, we'll get to take a peek at it. Unfortunately, it's a moot discussion without us being able to see it. But yeah, I mean, who knows? I think it's exciting, and we'll see. But for now, Stormstormer on the Windrunner. Like you were saying, though, the puck seems very strong against him this game. So I'm still surprised that they decided to go for it. It must be a comfort pick, but it just doesn't seem like a great time.
I mean, we know it's
for
a
now,
comfort
though.
Pick. Like, we know Stormstormer plays it really well. The fact is this comfort pick good enough to justify? Like, because sometimes when you have a comfort pick, some matchups which seem traditionally, my best example for this, top lane, Krilat. Oh, actually, they deterred him from going any further, huh? Ether shock to the face. You don't want to attack the Titan any longer. But yeah, there's sometimes when you have like a comfort pick, like true comfort pick, and you know this hero like in and out. Some people will claim that matchups that are traditionally, by general wisdom, go one way, go the other. People just don't know about it because they don't know how to play that matchup. A good example of this was that Monkey King Ember for a while was actually Ember favored, but only Ember spammers knew about this matchup, right?
Yeah, no, I can get that as well. I can get that as well.
Maybe Stormstormer believes that the Windrunner puck matchup is not that bad if you itemize in a certain way, you play a certain way. We'll see this game.
Gilger's in trouble, unfortunately. He's kind of backed himself into the medium camp. Kreelat's going to aggro it, though, and be hexed up. They're actually using the neutrals to help kill Kreelat, and they're going to get the job done. They didn't respect the HELLBEAR Smasher coming in clutch there with the Thunderclap, as, of course, the HELLBEAR Smashers making use of that. Very well played, actually. I can't believe they got the kill using that.
Yeah, man. On Ursa as well. Like, this lane should be going much worse for Tide. In this, like, 9-10, the score is very even between the two.
Yeah, he's just going to deny himself, right? Underneath the tier 1 or tier 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
Gilger just ending his life.
I guess it's before the Ursa comes back. I think Ursa wasn't there to receive the experience, so that's important. But Tide just start to suffer now. Tide is going to die now in the top lane. It seems like they're just chasing after him. Yeah. Oh, they don't want to commit to this. Interesting. Kreelat didn't have the Earth Shock, and in comes Gilger with all his regen, including the bottle. Wow. Ambulance Gilger.
Yeah, full HP for Rasmus. Plus, you don't know. If he's got 1-1 run right now, he can punish you really, really hard underneath that tier 1 tower. Doesn't hit very hard, but
you mean Gilger?
It'll start to add up. Sorry?
You mean who can punish you hard?
Gilger, right? Because
okay.
If he's level 3, when you see him TPing in, you don't know if he's got 1-1-1, and if he does, it's a lot of control immediately available. Right. And you don't want to be underneath a tier 1 tower with a shaman with shackles this early.
yeah, you're totally right. He's, I mean, traditionally it was Shadow Shaman and Rubik had a whole category of their own, which were I don't think you were even alive. I say alive back then. I don't think you were playing Dota back then. But they used to be very common for commentators. Windranger's been time made, by the way. It was a very common phrase for commentators to talk about how Rubik and Shaman and Lion 2 were very good at punishing aggression. And what they meant with that was, like, if you dive towers, they're really good at punishing you because they put you under the tower for longer, right? Because back then towers were a bit weaker. They didn't have the auras and everything, so like these heroes are more relevant. Not the case anymore, though. Now with the auras and stuff under towers, it is less important. But it's still important to consider that Shadow Shaman, Rubik, and stuff. Tidehunter is actually another one of those heroes. If you dive against these heroes, you're in trouble. It's a difficult dive to use.
I'd throw Disruptor in there, of course, with a glimpse, right? Kinetic Field early on.
No, because he's there to save you, though, right? Like, the whole point is that Rubik and Shaman and Lion can save you and also punish you at the same time, whereas Disruptor can do 1 to 2.
I mean, I could see that. I think you can make some clever plays with a Kinetic Field and a glimpse, though, aggressively.
That's
play
true,
with the vision a little bit. I mean, it's possible. I definitely see the case, though, more on the other heroes, like you're saying, and probably Nyx Assassin as well. But we'll take a look down bottom. Ace is absolutely dominating this lane, 32 and 22. So Mars, he's got 5 CS right now on Melis. Unfortunately, Not really sure what our Astral Earth Spirit is doing. I saw him earlier harassing Tofu, but I mean, Melis is just getting the scraps right now. He's just getting any XP he can. Even Krelat up top lane is getting harassed now by Rasmus. This is not really going the way it should have on paper for PuckChamp.
It's insane, dude. Well, actually, Shackles. The Puck was coming in to try to kill Rasmus. Of course, he just kills Gilger. I think Gilger's happy to sacrifice his life here for Rasmus. But it's fascinating that, like, maybe the reason why they didn't ban any of the heroes like Counter Tide besides Monkey King, because I guess they block picked it in some way, is because they think that, nah, Tide can't be countered if Rasmus is playing it. I don't know. Maybe that was the idea. Because he honestly got a much better lane than I was expecting against an Ursa.
Yeah, Melis, of course, having a pretty bad matchup versus the Monkey King. The early levels are fine, but as soon as there's like 2-3 points really in Jingu Mastery, you're not really standing much of a chance here versus the Monkey King, as they might just go for him now. Primal Spring here already. Wow. Nice pushback, but the Boundless Strike there is, well, boundless, isn't it? And that means it's going to be greater than the distance you can throw someone with a spear, because, of course, Monkey King, if he's known for one thing, it's his great range to damage you from.
Yep. Easy kills for the Monkey in that sense. On top lane, Rasmus is in a bad position now. He could get punished. This time with the Puck, yeah, he went a bit too far in. Over-aggression. And appropriately punished for it. Middle lane, Melis, does he have Bulwark? He does, right? So
he does, yeah.
The Focus Fire does nothing. No Javelin yet either on the Wind Ranger, so it's impossible to kill him. And that kill on Rasmus really evens out things, right? It gives him an extra bit of gold for the Ursa. Puck's rotations now are actually worthwhile, because unfortunately Puck cannot really rotate bottom and kill Monkey King, because Monkey King destroyed Mars in lane. So you need to go somewhere with your Puck, otherwise the pick feels useless compared to the Wind Ranger. And the best bet you have right now is to go top, or for top to come to you.
Yeah, and I think you'd rather go top. You need to keep Grimstroke in this lane to make sure they don't actually kill Ursa, because Fuzzy Wuzzy is... He's been dying, actually. He's died once anyway. And Earth Spirit rotating's got a great partner. He's going to rotate mid now. He's got to have the kick. But no, there's the Shackles onto the Mud Golem. The neutral creep gang, too strong here for HELLBEARSMASHERS. They actually get the Hex onto Desperate because there's 2 TPs coming. Malice now shackled by the Shaman, as there's going to be now at least the Waiting Rift to free him. But they've got plenty of damage. Only level 4 here. Another Rolling Boulder in from Astral. There's an Arcane Rune in the river. Desperate would like that, but he would first like to get a kill. Unfortunately, everyone's still alive thanks from the healing out from Tofu. Another shackle shot, but they do have at the very least the Spear of Mars to snipe Gilger, and Melis for God's Rebuke to get the kill onto Tofu. And that'll really help his farm here. Melis was having a pretty awful game up until this point. Finally getting 2 kills, it's a little bit easier for him now. Top lane, Rasmus might be in some trouble.
Yep, slower position, just set up with the Inkswell. That's enough time to pile on Fury Swipe since he has no points in Kraken Shell, because he went for the second point in Gush, which is a bit questionable. Not like 1 point in Kraken Shell does that much, but it's still useful to have that. I mean, maxing Gush rarely seen on Rasmus. So we're going to get a good lane, at least for the Monkey, but Ursa's recovered very nicely. Ursa should be able to match your farm anyway. Puck versus Wind Ranger, we already know how that matchup goes. And now the biggest issue for PuckChamp is how do you recover Melis so you can have a bit more impact as a Mars. Because you don't want to play from behind as a Mars. You want to be able to go and get kills solo with your Spear and your Arena.
Yeah, we're not up to level 6 quite yet. We've got another Dream Coil up, and I do like that Desperate's been making a lot of value out of these Dream Coils. Even the gank top lane that was meant for Rasmus, they still get something out of that, right? It's not the off laning you were looking for. It was only Gilger, but it helps the lane a little bit more as Ace. They're going to catch him. They cut him down as well. 4-second stun into the coil. Probably unnecessary, but that's okay. As again, they just want to make sure they guarantee these kills. Top lane, though, Ursa's going to go down in response. A Stormstormer probably connecting to shackle shots or either that Gilger with the Hex. It'll be a kill regardless, as Fuzzy Wuzzy's going to take his second death of the game. Ace will take his first, but it looks like HELLBEARSMASHERS will be able to get this tower first, and it'll be the first of the game. So a nice opening here already for HELLBEARSMASHERS, looking to boot the Ursa into the jungle pretty early on.
Yep, and with this, they're going to try to hopefully take the tower up top and even out this middle lane, which is, never mind, being defended by Ace, so they don't want to lose this tower either. Astral, though, could be in trouble. There's only 2 supports here that are actually fighting, and Astral is going to die here to Gilger's rotation. Interesting that 2 supports went that ham against the enemy mid tower. Those TPs were expected. And PuckChamp was clearly concentrating on the bottom tower instead, so wonder why they did that. Tide rotates, and since he has Ravage up, you're like, well, I guess I'm done. There's no more pushing here. Because if you have Ravage, TPs can come anytime, and you're screwed.
Yeah, and that's the Javelin that was used there to kill the Ursa, or at least delivered immediately after. So we've already got that operational, which means now, well, Melis's game is going to be even more difficult here. He finally has the arena, so he's got the potential to at least catch the Windrunner. And we'll see where he decides to try and throw that first arena down. It looks like he's going to try mid lane for Gilgir, desperate as well, giving chase, but they're going to be scouted by an illusion rune, and they won't be able to go any further. But this should be the towers for relatively free. Rasmus nearby again. He's got that Ravage, doesn't have the phase boots to really close the gap, and they actually have vision, so they're going to make the jump onto him with the Inks. Well, it gets off the Ravage, though. Tentacles not catching Desperate, however, as there's going to be Melis throwing out the arena. That should allow him to escape here, as Windrunner with the power shot will be able to snipe him. Nice jump there from Stormstormer. Astral now all of a sudden surrounded by the Serpent Wards, as Desperate still has, no, actually has already dropped the Dream Coil. They've gotten the kill onto Gilgir with it, as Astral will be able to roll himself away to safety. But not really such a great fight, as Rasmus was able to actually just barely get the Ravage off in between the stuns.
Yeah, but you did kill Mars in exchange for your Shadow Shaman. You managed to defend the tower mid, so it's not too bad, right? For you, you know your Monk
it's
King
really
can play
good, yeah.
more active than your Ursa early, which is what Ace is doing. I think Ace is best, by the way, when he's playing heroes like Monkey. I mean, I'm okay with Ace playing Wraith King because he's a more standard style hero, but the guy excels at like PAs, the Monkey Kings, the heroes that can fight and. Like, heroes are just weird, you know? If your hero's too easy to play and too standard and his points of inflection are very easy and readable, Ace is not well suited for those heroes. He's way too talented. Don't get him Wraith King. Rasmus will die, though. I don't know if that was to create space or why exactly when he was there, but maybe he thought the enemy team was not in mid anymore.
I think he was trying to contest a rune, a power rune, if I had to guess. 12 minutes, Desperate with an empty bottle. Might... you know, it's like the whodunit, you know, but I think it was Rasmus. I think he did it, and he picked up a rune that wasn't an invis, and he's gonna die for it.
You know,
I think maybe haste is also good there, but
nice Dream Coil, the Wind Ranger. Yeah, and now you just accept death because you're a Wind Ranger, and Dream Coil cancels you. They do save with False Fires for now. They don't have Ravage though to fight this. Wukong's command is still available. Stormer for now, lasting completely. Is that gonna be enough healing? Is that their best?
No.
He's still gonna be
just kidding.
Down.
Surprising, because I guess we just got the urn charges as they got the kill onto Astral. Yeah. With the urn, I think maybe that's not too much healing. I think it's what, like 30 a second, which is 60, right, with the False Promise, but not a whole lot of healing, unfortunately. No healing salve there to turn it into all of a sudden 800 HP healed over its duration, unfortunately. So yeah, they're gonna lose Stormstormer in exchange for Astral. So. But again, they defend the tier 1 tower, so I think another win for HELLBEARSMASHERS, as that's the second fight now that PuckChamp have forced, and they're going to make it 3, as they will smoke up and go again. This time, it's not fighting into Ravage, nor the Wukongs, or the Focus Fire, but we also only have Enrage, Soulbind, and Magnetize to work with. There's the jump up to Gilgir. They've missed initially, but they're still going to have him pretty easily here. Boundless Strike onto Ace. He's going to jump in, you madman? Okay, gets silenced immediately, but he's got reinforcements coming. I don't know if they want to go any further here for PuckChamp, and they don't really know if they want to either. They decide that they don't, so they're going to back off. And I think they'll be happy there just to get Gilgir at least out of this, as that's now going to be his maybe 4th or 5th death. PuckChamp with a pretty commanding kill lead, but of course, kills mean nothing in Dota. But with this tier 1 still standing, I still want to say that HELLBEARSMASHERS are pretty comfortable with the way this game is going.
I would disagree, and I'll explain in a second why. Earthspirit Astral, he can Rolling Boulder himself to safety, so he's going to be fine for now. Nice Astral. A little Boulder Smash trick to make sure he had enough space to get away. So I think the reason why I find that PuckChamp actually taking better advantage of this is that you're forcing the enemy team to be just kind of hovering around mid, which is, of course, reducing Ace's farm. You see that Ursa caught up to it because Ursa was free farming this whole time, right? But your team is better suited to do these engagements because you have, on HELLBEARSMASHERS, you have 2 heroes that want to farm right now, Monkey King and Wind Ranger, which are still not ready for their cores. Whereas in the case of PuckChamp, you have 1 hero, which is Ursa. Ursa is farming. Puck and Mars can fight all they want. In fact, Puck and Mars benefit from constant fighting because they get the experience, they get the gold of the support kill. That's fine for them. That's all they really need. And you lower the GPM of the enemy team, which is the team that needs more GPM right now. Hence why the 3K lead for PuckChamp. I do feel like this has been a much more productive use of PuckChamp's time just because of the nature of their draft. Even if you don't take the mid tower, it does seem like they're leading just by forcing fights constantly.
Does Ursa have his Battle Fear? I imagine with 7K net worth, he probably does. I don't think Battle Fear is, what, like 4,200? He does, and he's got another item coming his way. It might be like a Yasha or just probably, I don't know, regen or something like that. Okay. I mean, we'll see. I think he couldn't have had this Battle Fury, I think, for too long. Yeah, it's just a win lace coming. So I think for now, I think like I'd agree with that line of logic. I mean, he's got the Battle Fury, but he's still not ready to fight on Ursa, right? He still needs more time. Whereas, yeah, we've only got Maelstroms on both Ace and Stormstormer, as you pointed out. They're not really ready to fight, but they can, just not against an Ursa yet. And that's fine because Ursa doesn't want to fight them. So I still think it's just okay for HELLBEAR Smashers. So long as they defend the tower, they have freedom of movement to continue farming. Yes, less efficiently because they have to hover around mid and they can't just hit creep like junk like the Ursa is. But for now, without really the efficiency that Battle Fury gives you, well, at least for longer than just 1 minute, I think so far they're going to be happy with this. But you are right. I mean, it does stop that kind of early game lead that you made for yourself, that Rasmus made, really, and Gilger as well, top lane, shutting down the Ursa so frequently and pretty hard, actually, you shut him down. And Desperate, he's showing, we got a Ravage, but of course, I think Rasmus knows better than to try to test Desperate's reaction time.
Yeah,
Aces, I mean, he's still farmed. I mean, he's just as farmed as this Ursa the entire time, and he's also been showing up to fights, farming a couple of stacks here. He's halfway to the Ags, and then he's going to be allowed to push. Ursa at that stage might have +1 item. I don't know if that's really go time for him. It could be, again, because he's got a pretty good matchup this game, but it's I think going to be a lot up to Stormstormer on the Windrunner to see if they can actually catch him or lock him down, and that's not a very easy task. Of course, we've already outlined how many weaknesses, I should say, the Windrunner has this game.
Yeah, the Wind Ranger. I mean, we mentioned in the draft already, right? That the Wind Ranger just was a very limiting factor for this draft. But I feel like as long as you can take advantage of the single target potential, yeah, like killing these simple heroes is really what this hero excels at. And it's one of the beauties of running a Wind Ranger in any of these kind of drafts, which is that if the enemy team is trying to force 5-on-5 engagements and you take one hero and you pick off heroes like this very simply, it's very difficult for them to get what they want. Oh no, that X. Oh no, Puck suffering the wrath of hexes, man. That is terrible. They thought, oh, there's no lie in this game, I'm finally free, but turns out Shadow Shaman has the same exact ability. The only ability still shared by 2 heroes.
Well, actually, Caster, one of them turns into a pig and one of them turns into a fish.
And actually, I lie because Blink is also shared by 2 heroes.
Oh. Yeah, AM and Quap, right?
Yeah. They need to give AM the Slardar treatment from now on. Anti-spell Blink.
Focused concentration, not a spell, not magic.
And then on Queen of Pain is like Blink of Suffering, even though that's absolutely nothing. Something like that. That'd be a.
I mean, who else has just very plain names, right? Because you've got just Silence on DP, right?
Yeah, but that's what she does, though. She has no other ability than Silence. I think Hex is also kind of plain, right? Lion.
Yeah, I'd agree there. I'd agree. Yeah,
I mean, they changed Lion's Earth Spike, so it wouldn't be called Impale just because. So, Tofu. Albeit there are a bit different abilities. Tofu,
he shouldn't die
kill him. He has False Arms on himself in the backlines. We're all seeing Wind Ranger fight against Astral. And they're like, alright, False Arms forced. Guys, time to kill Stormstormer. Can they do it? Hexed up is the poor Ursa. Battle of the Monkey versus the Bear. Can he win? With the Shackles, still with the Enrage on top of that, though. Ace is in trouble. And the Arena Blood will guarantee the kill on Ace. That's Quilla dice to Gilger's Aether Shock. Seems like Desperate wants to join in. He comes in the middle saying, yeah, you want to fight this? You want to fight this? Come at me, bro. And the support decides to retreat.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised to see Ursa join the fight that, like, willingly, but he was leading the charge in, wasn't he? A good arena by Malice there to turn that one, because it was looking real bad up until we got that Enrage off. And Tofu, I mean, they don't need to kill him so long as he uses the ulti on himself or anyone that's not Stormstormer, as you say. They literally just jump Stormstormer, but he's a bit too fast, a bit too evasive as Melis. He's wishing he could be as fast and as evasive as Stormstormer, perhaps, but he is instead going to be caught farming pretty aggressively. I think he was trying to steal a stack there, but he'll be punished for that one. After that fight, though, Ursa and Monkey King both going down, but Ursa is able to pull ahead with a small but noteworthy 800 net worth lead. Crucially, this is going to also push back Ace's Axe timing, which I noted before he was having a really good timing for. It's still very respectable now, but that one fight is going to push him back a little bit more. buying more time, really for Puck, for Astral, even to get maybe the BKB up this game, which is looking really promising. Hopefully Desperate doesn't get caught mid here, and it's fine. But surprising positioning from Tofu there. I have to imagine either he was just simply out of position, or he was trying to bait that, because we did have all the ultis up for HELLBEARSMASHERS, but he was just like chilling right next to the stairwell in mid, and again, he's too valuable of an asset to lose first in the fights. So I'm surprised he wasn't a little bit, farther behind at least the Windrunner. But
it seems like Ace understands his role, though. If the Wind Ranger's the one that's going to be in the up ahead, like Dreamcoil just punishes you so easily, Arena does as well. Like there's so many ways to killing you, and Ace just understands that if he can at least create a bit of space early, is why I feel like this guy. Ever since I watched him in Danish Bears, I mean, whatever iteration of that team you were following, Imperials, Danish Bears, I forgot what they were called before that. They had a million iterations of the Danish stack. But ever since I watched him there, particularly people he'd been playing with for a while, I noticed Ace is a very fluid playstyle, right? So I feel like in this game he understands that, yes, he is the win condition, but he's not the sole win condition. You kind of have to play dual core with the Wind Ranger, and that's why you can sacrifice a bit of this early farm. It works worse because both Puck and Ursa are getting farmed, so they're beating both Monkey King and Wind Ranger, but at least Wind Ranger has not fallen behind. And considering how countered this pick is with both Mars and the Puck, I think it's impressive that Wind Ranger's still this farmed. Not because of Stormer, by the way. It's entirely because of Ace's role. Like, Stormer did nothing. He just exists. But Ace has been giving him a lot of space because of this.
They're fighting with Ags and actually BKB. This is a really, really big power spike for HELLBEARSMASHERS. Potentially very dangerous for PuckChamp. Melis is going to be the one to get caught. Not ideal. You don't want him to break the smoke, but that'll be the Ags and the BKB. Or sorry, yeah, and the BKB reveal here. So they should be able to escape. So Desperate's going to be pretty weak now. He's gone for the Blink Dagger and the Witchblade instead of Ags. And that has not even queued up Ags, by the way. We're going for the BKB first on the Puck, which I don't disagree with either. But this BKB is going to be really, really powerful now for Stormer.
Yep. Well, we'll see now with that BKB. How you can, I mean, what is the Ags even an item consideration for the Puck at all this game? Like, has he started building? I can tell.
No, not yet. It's BKB first for Puck.
Okay. BKB first for Puck,
after and then Witchblade.
And then I'm assuming then after Ags, right? I can't imagine why.
I would assume, yeah.
Okay, so then, I mean, if you complete the BKB, at least you're strong against Tide, right? But you should be having a couple of fights of freedom here. Oh, Wukong's command just to secure the Aegis.
They really
honestly,
want this Roche.
I think it's fair. If they steal that Aegis, right, you might just given a huge advantage. You know you want to farm with this Aegis for the first couple minutes until your lanes are pushed enough that you can actually go and take the tower, so I don't think it's that big a deal. It's only like a 100-second cooldown.
It's only, and you probably just want to get as well your BKB up on Monkey King anyway, right? Because then you have literally no problems. Because right now, even though Melis is kind of poor relatively, he's actually recovered nicely. As a reminder, he had 5 CS 7 minutes in, and he's just about equal in farm with Rasmus, who even killed the Ursa in lane, so he's doing pretty well for himself in terms of recovery. He's still a pretty darn good counter to the Monkey King, because you can just throw a spear at him, and you don't even need to hit the stun. So long as you yeet him out of the arena, or out of the Wukong's command, you're pretty happy. Because that obviously is a lot easier to kill after that. But not with Aegis, of course, that's going to change the calculus a bit. So he's not actually going for the BKB. He's going to go for S&Y on Ace Monkey King, as there's the Hex. They were waiting. They set the trap, and the trap now sprung Melis nearby. He's actually stunned up, so he could be next. Nice silence there. He's going to be not really doing much on the Air Spirits. As Melis, he is going to be left behind. 2 kills yet again here. And unfortunately, Melis was sticking around trying to help his buddy out, but couldn't really do much there, unfortunately. Gilger with just a great jump, and I think we've seen HELLBEARSMASHERS, and actually, we've seen that play so many times. We've seen Dende do that as well.
What?
Like the Puck pushing down bottom with literally, it wasn't Gilger, but another position 4 just waiting in the trees with a Hex.
Yep. Oh, they're going to go here for Ducalis. Let's see. Earth Spirit in trouble. Earth Spirit might also die here. That's a bigger kill than Ducalis himself, right? Because Earth Spirit is one of your big initiation sources. This should guarantee at least a tower, if not more.
Yeah.
Unless Ace wants to just continue farming. I mean, Storm's going to push tower bottom because he's free at this point, and maybe draw some aggro. Once they get TPs down bottom, then just going to go for the tier 2 mid. I'm assuming you still have Ravage. I mean, you should be putting some pressure here. I'd expect you to.
Yeah, I agree. We got Serpent Wards. We have all the ultis back up even, including the Wukong's command that we used to secure Roche. Puck is pushing down bottom again. Is this the best bait of all time? Probably not, that you've shown 2 heroes already in the lane. Desperate's not going to be making a jump here, but this should be at least the tier 1 tower pushed. We also have all the ultis up for PuckChamp, but again, we're fighting into the BKB. Oh, that's a aggressive move to make, but you got to have respect for it. Of course, he's got the waning rift attack talents, so he's able to clear the creep waves relatively quickly.
All right. Well, the tower does fall, so at least you take 1 tier 1. I understand that they're reluctant to take the mid tier 2 because mid is always difficult or just a scary lane to push, especially when you're winning. You might be able to make a blunder just by pushing mid a bit too early, especially if you don't think that you can win a team fight. But I expect that with the Wukong's command and the Ravage, you'd be fine. I guess they're just afraid of Rasmus getting bursted too early. Well, look at this. That's exactly what we're going to try. But on Ace instead, Ace is in trouble. He's going to maybe lose his Aegis. He wants to get a better positioning, so that's why they get the false promise. But he's going to pop for sure here. There's no way he's surviving this onslaught. So he's just going to pop a bit later. There's the arena blood used. But as he's outside the arena, Ravage used a bit too early. Doesn't actually stun him for too long. They kill the Oracle in the backlines. Ace wants to retreat unless Stormstormer wants to fight this. Wukong's command has been used. Gilgir in the high ground has been a bit aggressive. Instead, they kill the Earth Spirit at the same time as Gilgir. But it's 2 cores left behind with nobody to help him. Ace will be impaled and destroyed, and Stormstormer unfortunately cannot do much here. I think the call to refight that was a mistake.
Yeah, definitely. I think you had to Ravage a little bit earlier as well, because like you said, if you ever see that Tidehunter, I mean, he just looks up to the sky and channels all 100% of his power, really, to get the Ravage off, which means that Ursa's just going to simply enrage. Didn't do a single thing against him, really. Puck as well, joining the fight with the fresh BKB that Desperate just picks up. Sure, you don't get the kill on a Stormstormer, basically because he's BKB'd there, and he's immune to the Dream Coil. Oh, Stormstormer, he's been baited. He's got the BKB at least to get out of here. Might look to try and turn, but versus Malice, he's not doing well. Versus Malice, he's still got plenty of damage thanks to the Lightning Strike proc, so he's going to be able to trigger a BKB in response. Ducalis as well will escape. And once again, we're going to lose Malice, so not bad. It's 9-second BKB charges, swaps for both sides. But Stormstormer was also not really prepared for that fight, surprisingly. It looked like they weren't on the same page, or if they were, it was just, I think they needed to call it off, as you say, because they weren't ready to counter-initiate properly. And a really good jump there by Krelat. Immediately BKBs, he's not wasting any time, and they turn that into really just a fantastic fight for PuckChamp. It's hard to ask for a much better fight. They've equalized now the kill score 17 apiece, as we're going to get a pause 26 minutes into the game.
All right. Small pause here for HELLBEARSMASHERS to regain their composure. They've been doing a pretty good job of recovering this game, but now it seems like they've started to lose the plot again, right? With a couple bad team fights here, playing a bit overly aggressive, and again, even despite all the great plays that they made to make this Wind Ranger work, it's very obvious this pick is just not made for this game. Like, they've been, the Wind Ranger's been just completely useless this game. Literally zero utility, even with a BKB. You saw it in that team fight. Yeah, I can run through the arena blood, but also half my attacks get blocked. If my attacks don't get blocked, they get blocked by Bulwark. Puck still stops me. You know, it's such a difficulty. And that's wait till the Puck gets axed, and Wind Ranger requires blood.
Yep, the blood as red as her hair, as they were trying to catch Ace, but he's already out of there. Oh,
hopefully
they
not.
found
That's not
Gilgir.
very bad at all.
Is Desperate chasing for more. There's no Ravage. There's no Wukongs either. And now they've actually... Oh, there is Wukongs. Nope. They just got back, but they can be able to silence him up. Cancel that one. False Promise, though, applied onto Ace. He's trying to fight versus Krelat with the BKBs. Active Windrunner doing her best, but again, her projectile still blocked with the BKB. Ace is very dead, as that light above him might as well be red for sit down, you're done, see you later. Desperate's chasing for more. I think he wants to go for Stormstormer. No, he's blinked back now.
Yeah, I mean, we saw there what I was saying, right? Even despite you being able to go into the arena, even despite the fact that you can avoid the enemy team because you have BKB, you still get screwed because you have the Bulwark, right? And then you go, well, GG. Like, seriously, like, there's just nothing you can do with that focus fire, unfortunately. And your whole shtick, which is I can solo kill a hero, and I'm so mobile, is completely destroyed here, particularly by the Mars. I mean, if the Mars wasn't a pick, it was just Puck, I think maybe justified this pick, but once you see the Mars, it's just really difficult. Because with the Bulwark now, when you activate it, of course, it does redirect, I think it's like 60 or 80% of the projectiles, so you lose a fair chunk of damage in your focus fire. Yeah,
it goes over to the Mars, which is fine, but when you need to be doing damage to the Ursa or to the Puck, it's not as fine. Yeah, I completely agree with you, especially because our Mars-Puck duo is also not bad whatsoever versus the Monkey King, as we're seeing. They're able to jump him many, many, many times, and it's been very painful here. Gilgir last time tanking the brunt of that sort of, tank or gank or whatever fights that PuckChamp were throwing their way. And even this Vessel's a pretty mean pickup, because if you can apply that onto whoever's False Promise, you dodge a lot of that healing. Krelot jumping on in. There's going to be the Ravage. That's not only onto Melis, but he's still alive. In fact, they've already finished off Gilger, and Ace is down for the count as Krelot's been able to focus onto him. Stormstorm returning and fighting. Will get Krelot in return with a +1 onto Ducalis is basically free, but his BKB is now expired. Astral going on in, and Raz, as soon as his BKB is up, they're going to kill him with the Dream Snap and the Kick combo. Right now, Rasmus looking to run, sees Melis.
What is Melis doing?
He's probably going to kill Melis. No? Maybe it was a bait the entire time, as they're going to go right back up to the high ground. I saw Desperate throw a illusory over where now there's a second one, and they've unfortunately missed. Astral's going to roll forward as Rasmus drops a Reta KK, but yet again, Topo forced to use the ulti on himself in that team fight, as it looks like Rasmus still will end up going down as they kick his dead body and might look for a little bit of damage onto the tier 2 tower. They might take this here, actually, with Desperate.
They should be able
another
to
great fight.
Easily. Oh, maybe. Yeah, they have to leave immediately. They might lose the Earth as a result. Okay, Hex. Actually, Gilger coming in, try to kill the Puck. They just had Shackles, but unfortunately got silenced. And Desperate can't get the last hit, so Gilger can just deny this tower instead. I'm assuming he will, even the map control. It's just kind of worth to not letting him take a tier 2. Oh, he's going to leave it for now. Okay. All right. Well, if I was Desperate, I'd just try to snipe it, because 1 hit away from death, honestly.
I think the reason he doesn't is because if he denies it, then we're right at like 30 minutes, right? And then you can take Outpost for free.
Oh, maybe that's why. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
Right. Maybe he'll deny it after. I don't know. That's the only thing I could see that's immediately relevant. Because I agree with you. The map control is like, whatever. But yeah, I think you just want to make sure you keep that Outpost bounty, because it's starting to look a little bit bad. In case that's not clear, as there's another jump here. BKB utilized. I think that's with Aghanim Scepter this time, because they can't break that coil here through the BKB. Krelot now making the jump as down goes Stormstormer. The Enrage for Ursa Warrior. He's hexed up, but not for too much longer, as there's the Arena of Blood now in the middle of the Wukong Cement. They're just going to fight the Monkey King through it. Why not with the Fury Swipes damage? Ace, no BKB. Down he goes. They will get Krelot, however, at the tail end of this engagement, as Tofu and Gilger still alive. Rasmus looking for Astral, as they do have at least the Fate's Edict keeping alive Gilger. They've lost Melis. Where is our Puck? There is our Puck, jumping right back into the fight. Not quite yet. Maybe we're expecting Desperate to go. Instead, he's going to get a Hex from Gilger. Astral just kind of getting bullied by Rasmus. Eventually, will just roll over the crevice, getting the kill onto Gilger now. And I think they're just going to leave Ducalis for dead. It's still a solid fight for PuckChamp. Once again, Stormstormer is just dying in these fights, and Ace is not really able to get much done without his BKB.
No, and Desperate is pretty much what's carrying the team right now. Oh my goodness! They even whiffed the Ravage there. Everyone tips him. I was checking if his own team tipped him, but no, it was only PuckChamp. Oh, actually, no, Kilgore did. All of PuckChamp and Gilger in solidarity with his Eastern brothers.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, Gilger, what a memer, man. I mean, that was a very hasty Ravage, right? It was really difficult to hit that. Desperate's been playing an incredible Puck game. And I feel like at this point, Desperate might be able to go for like a bit more of a physical damage Puck, right? I feel like you can start doing that. Because you're pretty much solo killing any team. You're unkillable, it seems like.
I can't, but first of all, what a move by Erasmus. You try and kill a Puck with Ravage against a team that's literally named PuckChamp? I don't think so.
That's true, it's true. That's true.
Oh, that was hilarious. I can't believe Gilger tipped him. Oh, he is a memer. Gilger's like, I died, man. Why didn't you just let me die? Roshan number 2. There's a Basher up on Krelot. We've got Melis here with the Arena of Blood. They've got all the ultis ready to go here on the side of PuckChamp. We're without Ravage, obviously, for HELLBEARSMASHERS, as that one unfortunately has missed. As rolling through is going to be Astral. He's going to know. Set up for the kill, though. There's going to be a big coil. They catch 3. Can they get any follow-up? Where's Fuzzy Wuzzy? Now onto the high ground he goes. And with the Battle Fury, he's just killing everyone. Ace is already dead. And Rasmus not lasting much longer. Can't even get a single spell off because of the Phantom's Embrace. They do have a good shackle shot onto Melis and Desperate, but no one around to do the damage, as that is going to be another one fight for PuckChamp. And I can't believe this, but Astral's actually still alive, and he's going to be able to do that even now more brazenly now that he's got the BKB active on the Earth Spirits.
Well, with this HELLBEARSMASHERS, they lose Ace yet again for another like 50 seconds. They're starting to look much scarier because the difference between Ursa and the Monkey King is starting to increase and increase further and further. It seems like they have no options to deal with a Puck either. In a similar vein, Mel has decided he's no longer a core. He's just going to buff his Ursa at this point. He's gone for Solar Crest plus Vlads, which is a fine build, by the way, for Mars. But it's more like they know that as long as you buff the Puck and you buff the Ursa, this is... I wouldn't call this a free game, but it doesn't seem like HELLBearSMASHERS cores can deal with your cores. Their core-to-core matchups are a bit too bad. That's one of the weaknesses of the Monkey King versus Ursa as well. I wouldn't say that his core-to-core is particularly good against an Ursa, unless you have like one item ahead, or it's like early mid-game maybe. But late game, Ursa just crushes you too easily. It's very easy to kill him with an overpower. Your extra armor doesn't matter because they just use it to instead murder you, to get more Furious Eyes and murder you a little bit later. So it's like whatever, no big deal.
Yeah, and he went for S and Y, which is obviously not helping versus the Fury Swipe damage. And he's being held down and just controlled by the Arena of Blood and the Dream Coil because he's got no BKB. But he's going for that one now. He's about, I think, a third of the way there, so it's a bit hopeful for him to get his BKB. But if he can get that, I think they've got a good chance. He's actually halfway there, pardon me, which is even better than a third, last time I checked my math. But Ace, if he can get this one up, it's a little bit more of a chance, but still, with Aegis on Fuzzy Wuzzy, it's not looking real great right now. As, I mean, Melis, he's not even scared of Storm anymore. He's going to force the BKB. Dream Coil is going to now connect, and they are going to have to snap it, but with the False Promise active, but now the BKB duration has ended. Ace is immediately jumped by Krelat. They really want to make sure Stormer is dead. I think you got him, boys. Down he goes. Is now a great pin to the walls. Unfortunately, Rasmus is going to be able to purge that one off. He does have the Ravage this time around for Rasmus, but Ace is already dead. They've got him onto the high ground. The Gigas are coming out here, as Rasmus will be the last to fall in this engagement. A couple more tips on Rasmus. Why not? They say Rasmus Pavage, and they're going to take a tier 2 tower for free and look to go high ground.
Oh, easy. There it is. I mean, at this point, I feel like your draft was just doing you no favors. And if they played pretty decently, so did PuckChamp, but it just was a draft. That win ranger was a bit too limiting of a factor. I don't think the Monkey King was perfect either, but the Monkey King made sense in the context of their drafting. The win ranger was just very limiting. They won game number 1. They got excited. Game number 2 was just not that good. I feel like HELLBearSMASHERS felt stronger because when the team fights were much more uncoordinated and when they were much more haphazard, like in the early mid-game team fights, they still had a chance because Wind Ranger takes advantage of this, so does Monkey King. But once the team fights became much more coordinated and around objectives, Mars plus Puck was much stronger than your only Tidehunter. And the zone that you provided with Ace was not enough to justify this trash pick mid. So in the end, it was impossible to make that work.
Yeah. And you know what? In retrospect, I think you were totally right when you were pointing out that they can't be taking these early fights like this where they're still losing a couple of heroes or two, because it did make so much space for Ursa. You don't really dominate Krelat in the laning stage, but, I mean, Melis had absolutely no farm. Krelat was in the jungle, and he was in full recovery mode. He was not ready to fight whatsoever. And HELLBearSMASHERS, they still didn't really bring any pressure whatsoever to PuckChamp. It felt like they just let the Ursa recover, and from there it was a loss, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it was just difficult because like you knew you didn't have any late game anyway. So all PuckChamp had to do was, I mean, they understood this better than us. All PuckChamp had to do in the early was reduce your GPM, make sure Desperate didn't die, right? And since Desperate's playing a Puck, I mean, we've seen it. When Desperate plays Puck, Void Spirit, he goes ham and he just doesn't die, right? Like that's his thing. He's playing other heroes, he'll die 15 times. He'll still be useful, but he'll die 15 times. It just happens that these two heroes are particularly elusive. He excels on, and he's really good at jibaiting the team. So congratulations to PuckChamp, very well deserved victory, and we're gonna get number 3 between HELLBearSMASHERS and PuckChamp. But before that, we're going to have a small break, a 10-minute break before we start that last game of the series to see who is going to be fighting against Viking GG a bit later today. I hope you enjoyed the game, guys. Hope you enjoyed the cast. My name is Mr. Ava Plus. You're joined by Seek and Strike Dota. I'll be back with game number 3 between PuckChamp and HELLBearSMASHERS in just 10 minutes. See you guys then.
Now live with game number 3 of our lower bracket finals between PuckChamp and the HELLBearSMASHERS. PuckChamp with a very strong game number 2, and we'll see where they can take it from here. Avo Plus and Seek and Strike Dota on the call. Do you expect this one to go to 3, Avo?
What, before or now? Because yes, now I do.
Now I do too. I'm gonna, yes, I believe in the facts in front of our eyes.
Before, I mean, if you told me last game, once I saw the Wind Ranger pick, yes, I did think it was going to go to game 3, if I'm honest with you.
So once you saw the entire draft, is what you're saying?
Yeah, once I saw the entire draft, I did think it was PuckChamp favorite. But, I mean, I said it last game, right? Yeah. But, I mean, coming into this match, yeah, I probably would have guessed game 3. I'm not going to lie. I think both teams are quite even. I probably would have given it 2-1 to HELLBearSMASHERS, though, before PuckChamp. Let's see if that's true. They got Stormstormer and Invoker, dude. We get to see it. I'm hoping he gets for the sharp build. I want to see it in action.
Sorry, say again. Oh, there's Invoker, by the way, for Stormstormer.
That's exactly what I just said.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry, say again because I was absolutely ignoring my co-caster.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Pot calling the kettle black over here. You do it so much. I am a white male. I just roll with it. I just roll with it now.
I know what you're talking about. Anyway, I'm not going to listen to you as I usually do. Invoker picked here. I'm hoping that he goes for the shard build that you were explaining last game. I thought it'd be an interesting idea to see it this game. They still go for the MK. I don't think that's a problem at all. And this time they did get rid of the Puck for Desperate. So there was someone in the chat who said that they were not a big fan of Void Spirit on Desperate. We'll see. We'll see if you're right, dude. Because genuinely, I think this hero is pretty strong for Desperate. I think Desperate excels on heroes that have a lot of mobility. Because as the chatter correctly explained, and I also explained last game, this guy plays ham every single time, right? And then there's heroes that give you more or less leeway. Desperate doesn't change his playstyle. Like you'll be playing DK and he'll go ham too. It's just that on DK he has no way to escape, and on Puck and Void Spirit have a lot of ways to escape, right? Void Spirit's a bit of a middle ground. I feel like he has a bit of a shaky performance. It is true he dies much more than in the Puck, but I do like his Void Spirit. I think it's quite solid. We'll see how it works out against an Invoker though.
Yeah, Desperate likes to play these heroes that it's just like, well, I got my one power spike item. It's Orchid on Storm, either a Yules or an Ags on Void Spirit. Sometimes the Orchid, I think that's like the 3rd item that everyone forgets that sometimes Void Spirit mids will build occasionally. But he gets the one item, whatever it shall be, and he kind of just runs in and starts fights. He's got a good lineup here to support him this time around. The Pangolier as well to follow him up with the Swashbuckle and the, of course, Rolling Thunder, which can be very strong versus the Monkey King. I'm wondering, though, if it's still going to be a Quas Exorker for Stormstormer. Every single game I think every single game but 2, I've seen him personally casted, which is not that big of a number. But I think it's like 5 out of 7 Invoker games maybe that I've casted on Stormstormer have been Quas Exort, even when I thought that it'd be a better Quas Wex game. So he obviously prefers the Quas Exort style. I think this game, it's fine because you can set up for pretty easy kills on the Enchantress if you pick Rasmus a strong offlaner. And here we go. There's going to be the Enigma. And this should be pretty free kills for Stormstormer now.
Was it full Quas Exort? Because when I've seen Stormstormer, he's always played Quas Wex, and then he's transitioned into Exort. But
no, it was level 1 Exort, baby. It was level 1 Sunstrike.
Wow. Okay.
I know, and that's
interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
It's so weird because I casted him like particularly 2 days ago in this tournament. We actually went to Quas Wex Invoker particularly. So.
I'm telling you, yesterday I don't know what it was in the upper bracket, or where were they playing? In versus Creepwave actually here in the lower brackets round 4. Let me just pull up the Dota book because now you're making me doubt myself. But I'm pretty sure it was Exort level 1 in all 3 games.
I believe you.
That's the thing, is it seems so unbelievable, especially because in one of those games I was like, this is like the best Quas Wex Invoker. Oh, level 1 Exort, okay.
I mean, there's another one where Quas Wex is much better because you deal with a Void Spirit in lane really easily. You deal with Pangolier as well. Quas Exort actually is kind of sucky against Void Spirit because you only have physical damage usually in lane until you get like Meteor combos. And if you catch Void Spirit with a Meteor, then Void Spirit wants to die. Like, you're not going to catch him otherwise. The slowest meatball in the world. He has the Simoid. If he wants to bathe in it, it's different. Quas Wex is really good against Pangolier as well. Quas Exort is very weak against Shadow Demon because obviously you prevent the Sunstrike super easily.
Okay, so I found the statistics, and I can tell you with a 100-degree of certainty that the only difference between his 3 builds was that in game number 2, he took more points in Quas at level 20. compared to taking the talent a little bit earlier and maxing obviously your other orbs. But no, it was full Quas Exhort yesterday. First point in the Wex at level 10, all 3 games. So we'll see what he decides here. And there's the
HELLBEAR
again.
Smashers. Did they lose a bet where they had the last pick Wind Ranger of the game? Or what exactly is happening here? I mean, I feel like Wind Rangers at 4 this game is much more solid than last game, right? I think that's a solid pick. Because you're good against Void Spirit, because Shackle shows a decent stun. You're pretty solid against Pango, because you can usually outrun his Rolling Thunder. Enchantress is annoying against you, though, because she deals with your Wind Run, but, you know, Enchantress. So I don't mind the Wind Ranger pick. It also gives you the possibility of flexing the Enigma as a 5 and running Wind Ranger Tusk as a 3 and 4, respectively. Or alternatively, running Wind Ranger as a 4, putting Enigma as a 5. There's a lot of options here. But there's nice little flexing in case you don't know what the lane is. And PuckChamp now they have to pick up a carry that can ideally deal with Wind Ranger, Enigma, and Tusk. Honestly, Troll seems pretty solid, but I don't like the Troll matchup against Monkey King. I'm thinking of Krillot heroes. Because Wraith King is kind of okay.
Yeah, Wraith King's fine, I think. Medusa?
Oh, Medusa, that's another Krillot hero. Pretty solid against Enigma as well, because you can deal... Like, you need a hero that can kill the Eidolons, right? That's how you lane against Enigma. Someone that
and you also need a hero that, if he gets Black Hold, ideally, it's fine. You have Shadow Demon even for a save, which is always super nice to have. But also having a hero that can kind of just tank through an Enigma Black Hole is also a nice thing to have. And like you mentioned, Medusa brings you the added benefit of also dealing with the Eidolons fairly easily. I like the last pick Dusa quite a bit here, actually. I'm not as big of a fan of the last pick Windrunner. Did you see who locked it in, by the way, before we switched on over?
No, we didn't. We cannot see it in time, so we'll see it in the game. But I'm curious though how that's gonna go. The Medusa's pretty good. I think the Medusa against Monkey King matchup is also pretty solid for the most part, because Monkey King usually can't face you, and he tried to zone you out, and then you zone him out, right? And he's like, oh, but I'm already stoned. Anyway, the Monkey King with Ag sometimes can deal with a Medusa. I've seen some Monkey King that go for like a Diffusal Blade, because we have seen monkeys go for Mage Slayer. So like a monkey that goes for like Maelstrom Ags into Diffusal Blade to deal with Dusa. It is a possibility if you feel like the matchup is going to be really difficult. But I think overall it's not too bad. It just depends on who has more farm. If Medusa has more farm than Monkey King, he wins. If Monkey gets more farm than Dusa, he wins. It's not that bad of a matchup. And even in the late game, Monkey King can hold his own. So I think it'll be a 50-50 game here for the most part. It depends a lot on the Invoker and the Void Spirit performances, though, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree, and I think this is definitely a Quas Wex game, almost certainly. Although I'm just double checking here.
I think so.
Was there a Dusa yesterday? There wasn't a Dusa yesterday, because I think he for sure would have gone Quas Wex against a Dusa. I think it's just the obvious choice to make. Yeah, there wasn't. Okay, so it wasn't anything like too crazy yesterday. And I think all the Quas Exhort games, they made sense now that I'm like re-looking at the carries. It was against a Slark, a Jug, and a PL. All of those guys with dispels, so Quas Wex is like, whatever, might as well just do damage to him, and that was the build. So I'd expect another, maybe a Quas Wex this time around. I'd expect, to be honest. Yeah. Versus the Dusa, it seems too good early, right?
What, the Quas Wex? Yeah, you have to. I'm hoping he goes Quas Wex. I think it'd be crazy not to, right? But I'd be really excited. I was really excited to see the Ice Wall build. That's what I'm sad about, because I don't think this is the game for the Ice Wall build.
No, it doesn't really seem like it. It doesn't really seem like it either. No, I'd agree with you there.
I'd love to see it, but I think against a Dusa, it also feels like like against Dusa, you're like, guys, she's so slow. We know she's a Dusa. Like, she's always slow. We don't need to slow her more.
She's not so slow anymore, right?
Oh, he didn't go Quas Exhort.
No, I'm telling you, he doesn't care. Same exact build. I think he's just, this is just another pub to me, guys. Turns up his anime music to 11.
Maybe it is just practice.
Who knows? We'll see. But just
who's
to kind of
Wind Ranger though?
Good question.
Is Blue Gilger?
Is Blue Gilger? I don't know. Depends on what order they load into the slots. It's hard to tell.
I think Blue is Rasmus though.
Is it an offlane Windrunner? We'll have to take a look.
Can we just check over the heroes? I appreciate this observer. I like the showcase, but I just want to check who's playing what. No. Oh, that's really adorable. Look at this back-to-back Pango and Shadow Demon.
They look like
Team Rocket,
like a cop team,
No, it's like Team Rocket, dude. What are you talking about?
Shadow Demon is like the old scruffy, You know, he's the detective sergeant
Yeah?
man, right?
What
And
other
he's
traits
like,
would describe him? Well,
old,
old, scruffy,
gruffy.
angry. Maybe he has a certain complexion. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what complexion means, but sure.
Really? You don't?
Yeah, well, they use these fancy words.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be okay. People in chat won't understand what you mean. You described a very old stereotype that has not aged well. In case you're wondering.
What a detective?
Who's always playing the detective that's angry with life?
That's anger with life. I don't know.
It's the Morgan Freeman's dude.
It's what?
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Morgan Freeman. Where do you get Morgan Freeman out from a buddy cop drama?
He played a buddy cop drama a while ago.
Morgan Freeman is God.
Also, but he also played Shawshank Redemption, for example. I don't know. He's done a bunch.
Yeah, but
of
he's
roles,
not
dude.
a cop in Shawshank Redemption. He's a prisoner.
No, he's not. I know he's a prisoner in Shawshank.
What are you
Redemption.
going on about?
Did he do a buddy movie a while ago?
Nobody remembers him for that.
I just remember him. I thought he was a big fan.
Everyone remembers him as that one guy in Batman that is basically like Q in Batman. He comes back a whole bunch, and he's like, I'm never coming back again. And then he's back in the next movie because they gave him a briefcase full of dollar
he was
bills.
literally in 7. Yeah.
Well,
how about that
listen,
one?
am
Nobody
I wrong?
remembers 7, huh?
You have no rebuttal to him being God. Everyone remembers him.
That was his worst movie, though. Like,
yeah, but that's why people remember him, because everyone's like, wow, he must have gotten a lot of money for this one.
I mean, he did do a really good job, though. I mean, everything he does is great. Yeah, they're going to run the N5 Enigma. Finally, we found out. I was right. Blue is Rasmus.
Blue is Rasmus.
All right. Anyway. I don't know, mate. I like 7. What can I tell you, dude? I feel like you need to brush up on your movie knowledge.
All I'm
watch some
saying,
more Lethal Weapons as well.
All I'm saying is that that is one of the very many roles that he reprised. And first of all, you Google Morgan Freeman in order, what comes up is The Shawshank Redemption, 7, The Dark Knight, and $1 Million Baby, in which many of those he does not play a police officer. I rest my case.
What does he play in The Dark Knight? Is he not a police officer?
I told you, he's Q.
What does that mean?
He's Q. Have you never seen a James Bond film?
Oh, okay, yeah. He's
the quartermaster. He's like, I'm technology man, here to explain the plots. And he's okay, thank you, Morgan Freeman.
I mean, they just know his voice is beautiful, so they just get him.
He's got a great voice.
In Shawshank Redemption, like, it's the only movie where he has narration. It's actually pretty good, just because Morgan Freeman narrates it. Like everything else. Usually, it's considered a very bad trope in movies, but because it's him, it's fine. I am surprised we're seeing a Quasar Invoker, dude. I don't understand why he thinks this is better in this game. You don't even have good Sunstrike set up this game. I guess with Wind Ranger, maybe with a Shackle Shot.
Yeah, I mean it's easy, right? I mean you do have a good Wind Ranger target, right? It's obviously the Ench, and that can help Stormstormer, and that's usually what HELLBearsMashers rely on when they do run the Exort Invoker. Yeah. He also is, like I said earlier in Game 1, even before we had the Invoker, because it was usually banned. This time picked in the first phase by the HELLBearsMashers. Pardon me. He also plays a pretty aggressive Invoker, right? Not quite to the degree of Toronto Tokyo. Well, he'll pre-BKB and blink in and do the whole combo, which is a thing of beauty in its own. But yeah, he also plays in a style that's reminiscent of it, right? A little bit more restrained, I would say, in terms of his positioning. But he's still very much so willing to get the party started. Yeah,
but at this point, I feel like there's kamikaze bombers that are more restrained in Toronto Tokyo, though. So Rasmus, power shot. He doesn't have Wind Run because he knows it's going to be dispelled with Enchant, so it's not that big a deal, but Rasmus will still die.
Down he goes. First blood there. Going to Ducalis. Enchantress, your favorite hero in the game.
No, it's not. It's terrible. I hate that people still pick Enchantress. But this is the one game where I feel like it's justified. It's just funny, right? Because like they picked Enchantress, and then you pick the Wind Ranger to like make it like, oh, we feel bad. They can't have a terrible Enchantress game, so let's just pick Wind Ranger to make sure that the Enchantress is kind of useful this game. And now against Wind, she's a very valuable pick, right? Because you can dispel Wind Run. That's super valuable halfway through the game. You won't be able to take the Eidolons away. Maybe that's what they were thinking. They were thinking like, oh, we can't put Enigma off lane because she'll take Eidolons away.
That's surprising, though, because I feel like if it's fine if you take an Eidolon. That's like, what was the one? We saw this before, didn't we? With a Chen just stealing Eidolons?
Yeah. But it's different if a Chen does it if Enchantress does it. Actually, no, because a Chen has a lower cooldown. So never mind. I don't know. No, mate. I don't want to tell you.
It still doesn't feel good, because if anything, you just help him deny more experience, don't you?
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not sure, but a lot of teams I've noticed will pick the Enchanters in response to the offlane Enigma. I'm not here to tell you why they do it. I'm here to tell you they do it.
Maybe Rasmus is going to try something like really experimental, like Diffusal Blade.
Oh, that's a good idea. All right. I mean, for this game, what else are you going to
Honestly?
buy? Maelstrom Diffusal Blade, I think. Like Maelstrom Blink into Diffusal Blade with a BKB somewhere in between.
Yeah, I agree. You're just here for the utility against the Dusa. If Stormstormer is refusing to go put a single point into Wex until he has to at level 10, someone needs to be able to burn the mana of the Dusa, right?
Yeah.
And Monkey King Diffusal is just too weird. It's out of his wheelhouse, right? It would just destroy his game, his item progression. So he's not going to have a very fun time versus these illusions. Obviously, they don't get Jingu Mastery, but they do bully him away pretty effectively.
Yep. Here, PuckChamp. I mean, the mid lane also could have been going much better for Stormstormer if it went for Quad Spikes, another thing. But if he's committed to this, dude, like, he must have an idea. Maybe he's just practicing this for, like, because he thinks, like, Quasic Zord Invoker is going to come back into the meta with, like, a Q buffs. Could be. I mean, Quasic Zord Invoker has been consistently getting buffs recently, right? Just because Ice Frog is desperate for people to not play Quad Spikes anymore. Like you make this hero with like 18 spells and heroes people only play with 3. You feel so stupid.
That's very true. That's very true, actually.
It must be very
Play my hero. Well, stop nerfing Midas then.
Yeah, it's true. Melis in the bottom lane. They could get the kill here, but they don't want to put too much aggression. Interesting that... Oh, Tofu went for the Eidolon build. Okay, fascinating. Usually when you see 5 Enigma, you always, and I mean like literally every single competitive match that's been played has been the Malefice build. Max Malefice, put 1 point in conversion, put 1 point in Midnight Pulse, because the conversion has the same cooldown at all levels, and you only use it to deny. So if you're using more points in conversion, the idea is to have some earlier push, and you're playing like something closer to a Chen, maybe?
Yeah, this is interesting, because also I thought maybe if it was the position 4, you know, if it was Gilgir, I'd be like, all right, well, he's putting more points into the demonic conversion because he wants to be Enigma in the jungle for, you know, 10 minutes in the mid-game or something. Maybe not that long, right? Like 5 minutes, something like that. So we can maybe get like a Necro Book 1 and can play a little bit more aggressively there. But I don't know. That's interesting. I agree with you. We'll see how it works out for him.
Yeah, I'm very fascinated. When I see these odd builds, I always go like, either you are... You know, going against the grid and you're an innovator, or you just don't know what you're doing, right? It's one of the two, really. Like, you either do something and you do it so well that you become successful, or people will keep calling you crazy. Like Seb, for example. I remember when he had that whole tweet about how people made fun of his alchemist after, and then he won TIs. Like, now who's making fun of my alchemist? Like,
yeah, you can buy that tweet, dude.
Oh, it's true. Actually, I would buy that tweet if it wasn't destroying half the rainforest.
No, come on, you can't buy tweets. That's stupid.
I mean, I'd buy that tweet just to have it as a commemoration.
No, it's so dumb. You know what? You know what? I'll save you the money, Alvaro, and here's give me the money you would pay for that tweet. I'll tell you what. You hit Control B in the browser, boom, it's on your bookmarks. It's just
no,
like
but I wouldn't buy it like that. I'd buy it if, like, for example, Seb would like handwrite the tweet for me and sign.
No, that's different though. That's different.
I'm not gonna buy it if it's gonna destroy half the rainforest every time I have to buy something. Okay, like I don't want that particularly. Desperate. Okay, in trouble. No, desperate. Was that just a full snap? Okay.
He's baiting. He's baiting.
Since you don't have the tornado, you can't dispel the shield. So then, once you get the shield, full snap is useless because you have no magical damage.
You're very right. You're very right. Tofu. Pango's got the full already. Orb of Corrosion here. He's busy fighting with the.
Oh, there's a second point of Malefice. So no point in. Oh, maybe he's just skipping the point of Midnight Pulse then.
Oh, you know why? Because he's at a Monkey King.
Do you think this Enigma can't? Do you think Tofu is so bad that he can't avoid hitting the Monkey King tree?
No, I don't think that's the case at all. I just think that knowing Ace, he likes to maximize the damage. He'll jump in with a Primal Spring, which means he's got to jump to a tree very close to the enemies, which means that Enigma is going to be in the area, and he's going to be incentivized to drop a Midnight Pulse, which means that there is a small chance that with some miscommunication, you could Midnight Pulse and kill your Monkey King.
There's a point to be made there. Okay, sure. I mean, if Tofu wants to play safer. Maybe he just thinks the Midnight Pulse is just not useful this game, which is fair because Medusa's damage, or her tankiness doesn't come from HP, right? Yeah, she's not a big strength hero. It's more about her mana. Up top, though, she is going to die. Pango similarly in the bottom lane starting taking a beating, but no. Krillot manages to make it out in time. They did use the tag team there quite effectively. This Wind Ranger plus the Tusker lane used to be a... Oh, interesting. Melis is lag, but Dukas was lagged. Interesting. Why
that's how much she was lagging, though. It had a couple of Gs there on accident. We're going to get a quick reconnect here out from our PuckChamp side. So anyway, back to Morgan Freeman.
Someone asked if he was in The Hobbit. Why?
I also saw that one. No,
That was my favorite comic. Wasn't he the guy from The Hobbit? Who could you possibly be referring to?
He was the dragon, right?
Oh, was he actually? No,
No,
that was Benedict Cumberbatch.
I think it was.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. He is not British, so no, they don't sound the same.
Nope, unfortunately not. Anyway.
Thank you, guys. This chat is giving us life, guys.
It is. It is. I love that BP plan from Melis so much. Master tier, of course, on the Pangolier. He's a great Pango
It's his best
player.
hero. It's his most played hero.
Absolutely.
PuckChamp, the Twitter, which, by the way, you guys wanna follow some small teams, PuckChamp Twitter. They literally tweet all day. You will never be bored with these guys. I really recommend it.
I mean, a small team, more like up-and-comers. They're going to the upper division next season.
Yeah, exactly. That's true, but they still have a very small Twitter. They just made it after the DPC, which I don't know why.
Just get on it now while it's hot so you guys can be like, yeah, I was on PuckChamp before it was mainstream.
That's true. Yeah, PuckChamp official, guys. Literally what it's called. And they tweeted this stat. I like their stat tweets a lot. They were tweeting that he has the most Pango games. Is his most played hero. He's very comfortable on the hero. I think he has like a 70% win rate on the hero as well. Something like that, which they're saying. I forgot, but
he
something really
does. When I did my stat research here at the beginning of the DPC, so I haven't gotten the chance to update this one for PuckChamp yet. By the way, they get the mid-tier 1 tower. They do commit the rotation from Malice to secure it, but that does not bode well here for our mid-lane Invoker. He really needs space, of course, on Quas Exhorts. And
exactly.
It's 80% win rate with 50 matches played on the Pangolier for Melis. Wow. Again, this data is a little bit outdated. It's a month old, but it's still going to be really high. Gilger in trouble. Hoof Stomp there is going to connect out from DOTA2LIVE, and down he goes to the right clicks of Desperate.
Yep. All right. Well, for now, at least Ace is farming, right? But Stormstormer has kind of fallen behind. I wonder now how much impact this Quas Exotic Invoker can have early, because he's going for the Midas build, which, as you said, usually needs a bit of farm, usually very static. And the reason why this Invoker is not played is because if you don't have a Sunstrike setup, it just feels much weaker than just Quas Wex and then rotating, right? Like, the majority Invoker will go Quas Wex, and then you transition into a Quas Exort from the Quas Wex, right? Because you can create your own space. It's not like most Invokers fully commit to the old Quas Wex, where you get no points in Exort until, like, you know, level 20 or so. You know, you are getting points in Exort early. You should only go for 4 points in Quas. And usually you only use this kind of build if you want to take advantage of Sunstrike early. And you don't really have good Sunstrike setup besides maybe Shackle Shot. That's
Shackle, again, it ain't bad. Snowball, maybe Ice Shards situationally, you know, you kind of know where they're going to have to go. I mean, but that's it, right? I mean, you're totally right. However, I mean, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the Enigma Black Hole into Cataclysm. I mean, come on. If that's not set up, I don't know what is. But of course, it's very situational, given that it is a position 5 Enigma and not a core Enigma who can, you know, get the farm and the items to have a blink BKB to make sure you can actually get a black hole off. And even then, a black hole is not guaranteed to last, because if Krelat is fast on his fingers, and we know that he is, he's going to be able to get off the Stone Gaze in time, which can pierce the BKB and does, of course, stop channeling when you turn to Stone. So again, it's not the greatest setup, I agree with you, but there's something here. There's something, at least, for Stormstormer to Cataclysm here into the late game.
Yeah, that's true. You do have a bit of a combo with the Ags, particularly, which I think is one of the strengths of the Quas Exort Invoker. You can take advantage of that, but you don't much have something for the Sunstrike early. So at least if you can mitigate this early impact. Maybe that's why Enigma goes for the Eidolons, because the Eidolon build is a bit better for pushing lanes, right? So maybe that's the idea behind it. Because he did go for Eidolons in the end. He wasn't skipping just Midnight Pulse. He straight up went for the demonic conversion build, which is rare to see in Enigma 5.
It is, but it's going to help him do some damage here. As you can see, DOTA2LIVE now has a pair of Eidolons. Those are going to be just regular Eidolons. Those aren't even lesser Eidolons. Do you know the Eidolons can upgrade 4 times?
I mean, they can upgrade.
They upgrade each time, right? Because they go from the lesser Eidolons to greater Eidolons, and then dire Eidolons.
Oh yeah, of course, because the skill has 4 points. Yeah.
Yeah. I did not know that.
Well, you didn't know the skill had 4
I knew
points?
that. I didn't know their name changed though. I didn't know their name changed. Is what I'm saying.
Changed, dude. Are you kidding me? Don't you see the difference between the lesser Eidolons and the dire Eidolons?
Oh, apparently they get bigger.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Did you not see that?
Visually, no. Visually, of course, I know they do more damage. Like, I'm not that dumb. Like, I know there's a difference, but like, I didn't know that their names changed. I don't play Enigma. I never clicked on the Eidolons. There they are.
All Eidolons are the same to you, huh?
I mean, well, you know, what am I gonna say? Can you tell them apart?
Yeah, of course.
By the size?
Yeah, just give me 4 Eidolons side by side, right? In any
well,
order, and I'll tell you which one's
Eidolon
which.
size. But no, that's not fair. That's like saying, can you identify different shapes? That's not what I'm saying.
Oh,
if
you
they're
mean
all
okay.
the same exact
Give me
shape.
a random Eidolon. Give me a random Eidolon. Put it in the middle, and I'll determine which one it is, mate. We're doing this post game. That's gonna be the interview.
There it
Ducalis,
is. Ducalis
Ice
is in
Shard.
trouble.
Desperate. Oh, gets blocked by the Eidolon. Nice job there. Ether Eminent. Nope, not gonna work out. They had Black Hole. That didn't really matter. I thought the whole little Ether Eminent block was gonna be really relevant, but in the end they committed to Black Hole. Ducalis is still hitting Tofu. Finally, they give the kill to Rasmus with the power shot. Untouchable is being very annoying, but you'll guarantee as well a tower with this, so I think it's fine for you. And Invoker, honestly, still keeping up in terms of farm. That might is working out. They haven't really been able to punish him too much. Desperate tried to rotate top, unsuccessfully though.
Yeah, and that's going to be another one of his early deaths here, as Ace is going to be looking to boot Krelot away from the bottom lane. Might have a kill here? My goodness. Krelot? Yes, I was going to say, please turn on the mana shield, and he's going to ulti and TP away. Off he goes.
Oh yeah, I didn't get that Martin Freeman, Morgan Freeman comparison. I do people by faces, not by name. Yeah, sorry guys, we didn't really get it.
I've never seen The Hobbit.
No, Martin Freeman's great, but I just think he's very different from Morgan Freeman. So, okay. Let's see, Gilger. Try to go for Ducalis here. We do have tag team, but again, Untouchable makes it impossible to utilize tag team effectively here. So Gilger's just wasting time, it seems like. I mean, at least he's away from objectives, so it's not like you're going to turn this into an objective kill. But if Wind Ranger dies, this is a problem. Wind Ranger did die to Melis, who just pinballed him to death.
Yeah, in the pinball zone means you're in for a bad time, as Rasmus already having quite a difficult matchup versus the Pangolier regardless, but especially when you're just going to be perma-stunned to death. That's no fun for anyone. We're starting to recover a little bit here for Stormstormer. You got to keep in mind a little bit of that net worth is going to be still invested in the Midas. You got to use it 11 times to pay off the recipe. Of course, you still benefit from the attack speed it gives you, especially on the Exort Invoker, with more damage and increased farming speed, as now Tofu in trouble. Oh, Tofu's a little bit further away from a pinball zone. Oh, breaks the ankles there of Melis, as Rasmus is going to give chase. Has a lot of bonus damage here with that Alacrity, as now the Wukong's command is going to be channeled. They do interrupt him with the disruption, but Desperate dead yet again here, going down to Rasmus, as I think they hit him with the shackle shot, and Ducalis is going to be left behind. Sunstrike setup. Again, it's not great, but it'll do.
I mean, it isn't the setup, but just if Gilger's playing Tusk, I guess it's the setup, because that was an incredible Ice Shards, dude. That was on point. Like, really, choke point Ice Shards. He put himself in the only spot where Enchantress could leave. She is lean, but Tusk is too fat, so it was very difficult. He was bouncering there. And, again, these are the kind of kills that you get off the back of Ace's fluidity. I feel like this would not be possible if you were playing with a different carry. The way that... No? Disconnect. The way that Ace plays the game... in the sense that they say TeamSpeak as if we didn't notice the guy disconnected. Anyway, the way that Ace plays the game with these small power spikes, particularly in heroes like Monkey or PA, are very, very strong, and that's why you can make more happen. And I think this is working. This works well with someone like Stormstormer, particularly on his Invoker, because he's playing a pseudo win condition, both on the Wind Ranger and on the Invoker. He can't quite be a full space creator, and there's very few carries that can adapt to this. Even some of the tier 1 carries have a hard time adapting to them not being the only win condition and them being the king with a bunch of royal servants, right? So I find that this is a pretty impressive game style or gameplay by Ace.
He's doing a really good job of it as well. I think the Maelstrom helps you farm the eggs, which then obviously helps your tower push a lot more. You've also got Alacrity, so you're really hitting hard here with the Exort Alacrity, right? And decent, of course, attack speed as well. As here's Enigma, he's got a tummy ache, happens to the best of us. What a silly animation. Just Enigma. This big demon man who's one of the 4 fundamental forces. When he gets hurt, he holds his stomach. We all do, right? Don't we all? Someone give an ibuprofen. Yeah, well, the Enigma damaged animation.
Don't take ibuprofen, by the way, if you have stomach pains. It actually reduces your or it hurts your stomach lining. So, did they resume the game before they said anything? Ooh. Okay, that's a bit uncouth. That shouldn't be happening. Yeah, I guess he just reconnected. They got tired of waiting. Anyway, yeah, don't take ibuprofen if you guys got stomach pains. By the way, guys, it'll hurt your stomach lining. It's much better to take paracetamol if you're looking for another, like you're looking for something like that.
A little PSA from Avo.
No.
There's
I'm dating a woman that's in charge of hospitals, so I know. Not in charge.
Wow. Wow.
Oh wow.
That is a little rude from Rasmus. I mean, they beat you once. Give them a little bit of respect, right? You beat them in the grand final, sure, but they gave you a run for your money here. I understand they're young. You're 29, but you know, to call them kids is a little mean, I think.
Also, the way you said "you kids" are all muted.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, to begin with, if you're gonna tell them they're muted, you need to be maybe a bit more polite about the whole thing.
Yeah. Alrighty.
You can't say "you kids."
He went to the PPD school of all chat, didn't he?
No, PPD. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, PPD is also very direct in his chat.
I mean, they're young. I get it, but you know, they're also playing in the upper division here, so. I mean, I'm sure PuckChamp, they're not going to take that, you know. I mean, if anything, they're going to use it to fire themselves up here. So, if anything, it makes the game more intense. We'll see. I think both
there's
teams
now a grudge here between them.
I don't know if there's a grudge, but I think that's something you can fire your team up about. You know, hey, they called us kids. Let's beat the old man. You know, blah blah blah, something like that, right?
Someone in PuckChamp's like, but he thinks I'm so young. That's great, Melis. The tag team plus the focus bar, still a nice little combo. They're going to murder Melis in cold blood. Not much you can do there. And that's going to be HELLBEARSMASHERS taking the kill on the Pangolier. Not bad, not bad. It's valuable because Pangolier represents so much from PuckChamp's lineup. He's pretty much your initiation as well, mainly because Desperate's been playing so aggressively this game. But now with Orchid, I feel like you can still get solo kills, with Desperate. Let's see if it's possible now.
Yeah, he likes going for this Orchid build. They did it yesterday as well in their loss versus Viking GG. And the issue there was it was a bit too slow. I think here it's a very acceptable purchase. Notably, they weren't playing against an Invoker. And if you can go ahead and silence up a Quas Exhort Invoker, guess what? You're missing a lot of damage from your team fights, and he's basically useless. His right clicks hurt. His right clicks do hurt, granted. As there's Melis, he's got he's got Gilger set up in a pinball zone, but beautiful ice shards there.
Wow.
Not fast enough on the shield to crash, and they're going to be unable to secure the kill.
No, that was a bit of a mistake, though. He got him in the pinball zone. He could have stopped him, but he made a small mistake in one of his turns. It's kind of difficult to control Pango so precisely, though, so it's fine. Like, you can do one of those a game, pretty much. But Gilger was on point with his ice shards, of course. However, Pango could have killed him if he just got the second stun, because you saw he missed the combo there. He's got something as a Pango player, though. I know Melis will beat himself up for afterwards. Like, God, stupid. Anyway, Ducalis, Oliver's punch, not going to save you from the ice shards. They even use Boundless Strike with tag team. Remember, tag team damage crits. Okay. And they even find Desperate in the bottom lane. Bad. All right, random chatter in the last game. You're totally right, dude. Desperate would die a lot on any hero that's not Puck.
It's true. I mean, he's got to be farming here, right? Because Medusa has to have the safe farm that is the jungle and was the top lane that she pushed basically past the tier 1 tower, right? Someone's got to take the dangerous farm. Mid is a little bit spicy, but bot lane, that's a pretty... I mean, it's dangerous, but it's a pretty, you know, not really where you'd expect to be ganked, right? If it's a bit further, if it's past the river, sure, maybe we accept that's a bit dangerous, but I think that's just a good play from HELLBEARSMASHERS, just kind of looking to play and punish this somewhat dangerous farming that's, you know, not dangerous enough where you're hovering over Dissemblade to Astral Step, right? Exactly.
Astral, okay, so strike this time. Oh, wow. Almost set up was just Walrus Punch, which is pretty impressive in itself, but of course against another Ice Shard stuff.
Great Ice Shards.
Gilger, man, is doing so much this game. I feel like he's mitigating all the greed his lineup has gone for. Like, his lineup went pretty greedy. I mean, Enigma's even farming the jungle right now because he went for Eidolon build, so might as well. And it's just Gilger creating space all over the map. He's 5, he's 4, he's 3 all at once while his team all farms.
The scan is going to scout 1, so Rasmus is going to get out of dodge. He's going to be going he's chilling just with the javelin here. I like this build. I might prefer a blink before the BKB if I'm being completely honest with you here on the offlane Windrunner, just to be able to give your team a little bit more additional catch, right? And but I think BKB has got its uses here, as they're going to unfortunately realize that Melis, he likes going for the Yules build into the Blink Dagger. Can they get the swashbuckle in time? Absolutely. But Rasmus still has the damage there. I believe that was going to be the Javelin projectiles chasing him down.
Got 2 Javelin lucky procs towards the end, to be honest. He might have not died otherwise, but yeah, at the same time, if you did a counter kill on Gilger, this is supposed to happen. The problem, though, is that Gilger dying for Melis is still not really worth it here, right? Even though Medusa's kind of matching your farm, because she did go for a Midas, very typical build on well, not super typical, but seen quite often in Medusa these days. Oh, bottom, Rasmus. Assimilate, and with a soul burn, is that going to be enough damage? Yes, it will be. Desperate, finally getting the soul kill of his dreams, and he now has a BKB as well, so you should be able to play much more aggressively now with a BKB. Only thing you should be wary of is Black Hole, right? So hopefully now PuckChamp can go for these like small skirmishes and small engagements, taking advantage of the fact that Medusa is a more solid farmer. What?
And we do have the Blink Dagger, right? I mean, look how farm this position 5 Enigma is, especially after you max the Eidolon build, you're gonna farm like crazy. And I mean, he's not like they got that crazy farm, but for position 5, it's a lot of farm. And he's got the Blink Dagger already for the Enigma. So yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem. We need either, again, Krelat to get the Stone Gaze off. We need, at this rate, Desperate not to be in the Black Hole and to land the Orchid. Or we need Melis with a Blink Dagger so that he can just blink in with Rolling Thunder and cancel the Black Hole. We saw Skylark, with the Sam hero try and get this one done, but couldn't do it. So we'll see if the Master Tier Melis is able to cancel a Black Hole without swashbuckling into said Black Hole.
Let's see, Snowball, they go and find poor Pangolier, and Pangolier with Disruption might just be saved, actually. Krelat's fighting in the middle of this. Stone Gaze has already been activated, Melis has to get away. Can he do it in time? Wow. Swashbuckle out of the circle. Melis is still alive. They'll kill Ace instead. And they got now rid of Wugo's command. Beautiful silence as Enigma was hoping to Black Hole in. Melis does die in the backlines, but Tofu has also fallen. Krelat still holding his own here as Desperate was about to die to the Forged Spears, but the Assimilate gets us correctly. Now the shot goes on to Krelat. Can they continue this fight? It seems like HELLBearSMASHERS has to give up. As this fight already went the way of PuckChamp. Really, really good silence there towards the end. Almost got Black Hole there, Krelat.
Yeah, he almost got Black Hole, but he didn't. And you know what? And then HELLBearSMASHERS, they miss all the skill shots trying to pick off Desperate. Nicely done. He knew it was coming, and he was just dodging and avoiding them in a very erratic fashion. Kind of hard to predict that. And there it is. I mean, like I said, I think PuckChamp, they're fired up, man. Great fights as they actually own the Monkey King inside of his own arena. Astral might be able to set up... No, this is just Krelat. Okay. I thought they were setting up for their kill. Gilgur? You know what I'd like to see just for a nice observer tool? A little icon. Or even, like, this should just be on... probably in the game if you're on the Shadow Demons team. Just an icon of who's inside the disruption. Sometimes it's just really hard to tell.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. For, like, observer tools, it'd be cool.
Yeah, for an observer tool.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's easier when you, since we're not controlling our camera right now.
That's true. Even then, sometimes I'm confused. Gilgur, they're gonna actually go for the kill here. Snowball, but he actually got ice shards to give him vision of the small camp on the high ground. Nicely done. Trying to get himself to safety. Will that be enough? The impetus uphill is not gonna miss, and neither is Melis this time. He's gonna have the kill, running him over with the Rolling Thunder. He's also got a Javelin of his own. He's going for the Basher. I think Maelstrom Basher even had fully queued up before the Blink Dagger that I mentioned earlier. And you know what? As long as you've got Desperate to Orchid the Enigma as soon as he blinks in, yeah, that'll do.
So solid, though, honestly. Gilgur, with these deaths, as long as you're just... as long as you're dying away from objectives, you are creating a fair amount of space for a team that desperately needs it. Particularly because the Invoker is still farming to this point. I mean, he's been beating the Monkey King. Invoker is your win condition, it seems like, with his Positive Sword. And I'm wondering, as a win condition, what items you're going to build to really ensure this happens. Because if you build Cataclysm, right, or the Axe build, the only thing that really secures it is Shackle Shot. Because realistically, getting a Black Hole this game is going to be almost impossible, honestly. Like a full Black Hole that's set up for Cataclysm, with Stone Gaze, Rolling Thunder, Orchid on the Void Spirit, Shadow Demon existing. I can't imagine that happening too consistently.
Yeah, you know, just the amount of control and everything that they have here is definitely not going to make it any easier for them, as you're saying. But you know, again, Tofu's continuing to farm, right? So let's not discount the fact that maybe in 10 minutes he has a BKB, and then it becomes a lot more difficult, right? Then it's just up to Stone Gaze, quite simply, and all of a sudden HELLBearSMASHERS are looking a lot better. Not even just a little bit better, but a lot better. Rasmus going for a Witchblade here on the offlane Windrunner, so no Blink Dagger or like an Axe from mobility. I just think we need one mobility item here this game for the HELLBearSMASHERS here on Rasmus. He disagrees, obviously, and will not be going for that.
And whatever you say doesn't really matter. So
no, it's true.
Yeah, I feel like I also agree that the Blink Dagger would be nice for having it in general mobility because you don't really have an initiator right now. They're kind of trusting Gilger or Ace to do that, which I feel like it's a lot of pressure on Ace particularly. I mean, Ace has been playing like 2 roles this game, right? The whole time he's in the Space Creator and the initiator somewhat in these team fights, which makes his life even more difficult. I more see it because I don't see the big value of the Witchblade this game. If Witchblade was amazing, I'd be like, okay, yeah, just go Witchblade, right? It's just great on win rate, but it's just a bit slow. There's nothing to call home about. I feel like Blink will do more. I like the BKB choice though. Maybe
yeah, I think the BKB
like
is
more...
fine. Oh, look at that Manta
Asian.
dodge.
Yeah, that was impressive. I like hard to dodge EMP because that's such a weird animation and a weird like takes too long since every level lowers the time it takes, right? So.
Well, he knew. He was just waiting. I think there must be a visual cue, I'd imagine. I don't know. I'm not. I don't have to Manta dodge things. I don't worry about that. I'm a support player.
I think it's.
I just die.
I think it's the sound. I think it's the sound cue that you take as EMP.
Sorry.
I think it's a sound cue for EMP.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
I think for a lot of things, sound cues are better than visual cues. To be honest. I found out yesterday about yesterday I was fighting against a Pudge that had the special green hook, and I realized apparently I'm very colorblind because I can never see the hook.
Oh, maybe that's it.
So in that case, I turned on
colorblind.
colorblind mode, and it also didn't. I didn't help because the hook was still the same color.
Well,
so.
there's different colorblind modes that might be able to help you out, though.
Oh, there's special custom ones. I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, I mean, you gotta hand it to Valve. Their accessibility settings are like really, really out of this world for the Source engine.
Should be though.
It's amazing. No, I agree. It should be, but they're the ones like actually setting the trend. They're setting the benchmark for a lot of other game engines.
That's very good. That's very good. Not saying that because I might or might not be colorblind. I'm saying that because I think everyone should.
No, it's good to have regardless. Even if you're not colorblind, that should be the expectation. I know that's why you're saying it. Yeah, of course.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I get that. No, it's really nice actually. So they've got tons of accessibility settings. Great for CS:GO and stuff like that. Even if you're deaf, you can still play CS. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, honestly. That's really cool. I agree with that.
Krelat is gonna have a fly of Scotty.
Oh. I don't know about this TMP. Okay, for now. They actually did stop the Monkey King with Rolling Thunder, but Melis, not sure what he's hitting with his Rolling Thunder. He just did a whole turnaround. Got nothing just yet. Stone Gates have been committed just to leave. Melis is stuck. Melis. Okay. That was an interesting Rolling Thunder. Unfortunately, it was not the best positioning. And honestly, when you play Pango against Tusk, the Tusk knows how to deal with you. It's very difficult to use that ultimate effectively. Because you can put the ice shards in the middle of it, and then all of a sudden you don't have a pinball zone anymore. Like, it's pretty solid. Gilger's doing a great job of canceling Melis.
Can we take a look at Stormstormer's items real quick? I don't know if that was an Ag Shard Ice Wall. It was really precise placement, so I kind of believe it was. I don't know if this Invoker does have the Shard, because he took... Yeah, he took Krelat out of that fight for basically the entire thing, right? He had to ulti just to make sure he didn't die to the Invoker alone. We'll get to the Invoker in a second, but... I think that's kind of the benefit it gives you. If there's a core a little bit out of position without a BKB here, like the Dusa, you're going to have to take the long walk back to your team. Luckily, though, PuckChamp basically with Demonic Purge completely nullifying. I believe that was the BKB of Rasmus, if I'm not mistaken, was for the Demonic Purge. But also the control into the Monkey King was too high. Inside his ulti with BKB active, they don't kill him, obviously, but he also doesn't really get any kills either. So 10 seconds BKB used by not only Rasmus, but also Ace, and they don't get anything out of it. He does have the Shard. He does have the Shard. So, okay. I mean, after BKB, Boots of Travel, I mean, and Blink, I don't know. It's kind of core, right? It's later on in the progression, but...
Yeah, I see what you mean, because it's like, I wouldn't call it core necessarily, like maybe, I wouldn't say luxury either, somewhere in between, because it's so cheap, like, I am afraid to call something like this core necessarily. Like, I feel like if you weren't winning on Invoker, you wouldn't be able to afford. Like, if you were struggling on Invoker, you wouldn't decide to go for the Shard, right? Yeah,
but I think if you're not winning on Quas Exort Invoker, or if you're just losing on Quas, you just lose, right? Like I don't know. The only reason I say it's the build is because he consistently goes for this build. Sometimes he will change up instead of he's going for Hex, I believe, right? Sometimes he'll go for his Shivas instead. I think he actually had his Shivas queued up instead of the Sheepstick. I'm not sure, to be honest. I didn't quite see. But
he'll always go for Shard regardless of the game. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, at least he did yesterday. 3 for 3. Desperate with a solo kill into Gilger, so they don't have a snowball to initiate. They still have Stormstormer, but he's not going to connect on the Tornado EMP combo. That'll bother Roche, so he'll come back out of the pits. Sunstrike will connect onto Krelat. Rasmus trying to set up here for a stun. There's going to be the Midnight Pulse. Actually, Krelat is going to isolate himself from his entire team.
Hole.
There's going to be the Black Hole. Malice needs to get in there. There's going to be the disruption to save him, and Desperate as well with the Orchid. They're going to be able to get the kill here quite easily onto one, but Ace still fighting versus Krelat. Ace, Krelat though, no. Ace, he snatches the Aegis. I thought that went over to the DOTA. They're going to be able to at least get the first life off of the Monkey King. And nice Tornado there to save Ace from a bit of trouble, but he does not have BKB here on his second life. And it looks like they are going to be able to claim that one just as easily as the first. As PuckChamp, they lose out on Roche, but they will be able to punish HELLBEARSMASHERS quite heavily here for the Aegis steal.
I thought he'd be able to hold his own. One of the reasons why they lost that team fight, honestly, one of the biggest reasons is that the EMP did not connect in the beginning. And Invoker was almost out of mana by the start of the team fight, right? He was like at 20% mana. Cool. So then the EMP is important that it connects early because it gives you back mana, right? So if you don't get that EMP off and you don't get that on DOTA particularly, then you lose a lot of impact. And I feel like, I don't know if you can call that a mistake because he was just trying to guess in the Roshan pit, but maybe committing the EMP for that was a bit of a mistake because you didn't know if you had hit the tornado or not. So yeah, a lot of confidence is really cool. Cool guys don't look at explosions, but in this game, that really screwed you over in the team fight. And PuckChamp was able to at least utilize their mid laner much more effective than you were. Like the advantage should still be in favor of HELLBEARSMASHERS, considering. But PuckChamp is just playing these team fights a bit better.
Malice has
overall.
Blink.
Yeah, he was chasing after the Invoker, but we're going to go bottom where Desperate is just farming.
I don't know if they...
Gilger is looking for the kill here. Rasmus is nearby too. Shackle Shot is available. There we go. But doesn't connect against anything. Doesn't matter. The damage is really high. Desperate might just die. Power Shot is not guessed correctly, but Sunstrike will. Ooh, those Ice Shard actually stopped him from getting hit by the Sunstrike. It's similar to avoid the last bit projectiles, and Desperate will for now survive. He's capable of TPing back home. Mel just wanted to kill. They use the Meteor, and Mel's like, all right, I'm not leaving here. There's an Invoker. Invoker's scary. Monkey King's probably nearby as well. They gave him Alacrity as well.
Oh,
Shackle Shot on top.
You can take
the Enchantress. This DMP will certainly hit, and Ducalis will be the sacrificial lamb of this evening.
It's neither fair nor foul, as unfortunately Ducalis was TP'd in to help his team, and he's going to be the one to die after all of that. Nice jukes there by Desperate, as again, the power, all the skill shots, unfortunately, not really connecting there from the side of HELLBEARSMASHERS. That's the second time now he's escaped in that fashion. Whew, okay. And the game continues. And I mean, they don't get to kill top lane at the very least, but they also don't get the kill onto Desperate down bottom either, as he was just a bit too sneaky for the likes of HELLBEARSMASHERS. This Deuce is going to be a little bit of a problem now with the Butterfly. Monkey King, he can go for the MKB, of course, given that I think it's named after him after all, but that he's going to need to still build that item. It is a sheep stick here for the Invoker. It's not the Shivas. Unfortunately, we don't have like really a great counterplay to the Deuce on either of our supports either. Stormstormer jumping right on in, but he's going to get interrupted, forced to BKB, Demonic Purge, Ice Wall to try and cover his retreat, though. His Ace in the trees, not yet scouted. But Melis will see him here, but they've got the jump onto Desperate. They don't have a follow-up stun, so the Sunstrike's going to whiff. And that was a BKB charge there on the Invoker. I believe maybe a 9 or a 10-second BKB charge. Desperate is going to eat a Walrus Punch. We still have a disruption, though, and that'll be there to save him. This is going to allow them to set up the Meatball, but again, the Ice Shards, and without a follow-up stun, Desperate's just away. They're having some serious catch problems now here on the side of HELLBEARSMASHERS.
Yep, they are unable to really complete these skills if Wind Ranger is not ready to get up to them. That's why I thought the Blink Dagger was so important, right? To be able to get that Shackle Shot and not easily avoidable. Krillab with the Butterfly now is also becoming a real threat. Like the last team fight, the Maelstrom kind of mitigated, and the 2 lives from Monkey King and standing in the middle, Wukong's command all helped to make sure the Butterfly evasion was too relevant. But realistically, besides Invoker with his magical damage, you don't really have any more physical damage against the Dusa. She'll block most of Rasmus' thing. In fact, Rasmus now in trouble. They just stopped her because they got the Demonic Purge onto Rasmus, lost the Wind Run as well, and Rasmus will fall together with Gilger that barely lasted in this engagement, and PuckChamp now is ready to fight. If only Dusa joins them, though. He can't fight here alone. In fact, the Black Hole onto 3. Oh, what? A Black Hole plus Meteor Deafening Blast combo only saved by that disruption. Dusa running as fast as she can, but Melos is already dead. PuckChamp, if you were going to attack a tier 2, you needed to do it with Kraylat. You couldn't do it without him. It's the Ice Wall, though, with a shard.
Wait, hold on.
Ice Wall with a shard.
Okay. They're going to get Astral. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice shot. Ice wall into the shard. Yep, that's going to be super useful there. Okay, so that turned into a lot better there. The follow-up was very, very nice. Stormstormer even surprising me with his initiation. I thought that was going to go awfully, to be honest, because you already had Rasmus dead. But to be honest, Rasmus is not really the source of their damage. And remember about 10 minutes ago when I said, yeah, well, Tofu in 10 minutes, he might have a BKB. Well, he's got that BKB, and now he's more farmed than even Rasmus here. So he is all of a sudden a very substantial impact in this game. It's only Medusa now that can cancel his black hole without an Abyssal Blade, of course, that we might still see build. Stormstormer, though, he's been caught. He's going to BKB, but he's still going to go down just as quickly. Ace is nearby. Krelat popping his own BKB here. That'll scare off Ace, who is not damaged before he gets off another Primal Spring, so he should be away with the Tree Dance. There he goes, and he is just going to be continuing to farm. So 10-second BKB there for Krelat to ensure the kill onto Stormstormer, who is dead for a full minute and 15 seconds. Is not a bad trade whatsoever if they can get an objective out of this, and it looks like they've got their sights set towards the mid-tier 2 tower. All right.
With this PuckChamp, I feel like you have now a sizable map control lead as well, which is helping you out a fair amount, right? Because you start to dominate the enemy part of the jungle, and they're struggling to fight against you. Rolling Thunder against the Ace. No way, they had Hex as well. Enigma has no black hole, so you can't help him out too much. They're using the shot. Oh no, Melis! Messed up with a roll up there, but they still have Demonic Purge. Can they cancel his TP? They're trying their best with the Basher, but unfortunately, Melis would not get any lucky procs. He almost dies to the statues as well. Thank God he had the shield crash plus disruption there towards the end. This disruption by Astral is being key, by the way.
Whoa,
they find the Tusk instead, they want a Fat Walrus, and they're going to get it.
Wait, how did he know he was there?
Because he's God. He is Morgan Freeman.
Look, even HellBear... What a callback. Even HELLBEARSMASHERS is like, there's got to be a ward here, right? I think maybe they saw him blink from the river?
I mean, it is desperate, though. You know desperate, right? Like, this guy goes ham.
That's true.
So he just goes forward, and then, like, Davai is the only word in his dictionary. That's the desperate way.
It is.
He never stops. You got to respect the man with this much courage, though.
I completely agree. I mean, I think that's the way you have to play these types of mid lane heroes in the style that he does, though. Yep. Pardon me. You can't really play them in a style where you go, oh, well, I have to save, you know, one of these things to make sure that they don't get in trouble, blah, blah, blah. Or, no. If you're going to be going first item Orchid, that's all in, baby, right? You need to go all in on all of your utility here on the Void Spirit and just trust your team to be able to back you up when you need it. And so far, they've been able to do it. And that's, I got to say, hugely thanks to Astral this game, who's been on point with all of his disruptions when, of course, they've been realistic to save someone, right?
Yeah. Yeah, let's see in the top lane what they can accomplish here. Let's see if they can take down the Monkey King. No, not gonna happen. Similarly, Gilgur, they do have a Hex though. This Hex has been so worth that while for Desperate. Already 2 kills netted, but actually the counter Hex here, surprising a bit. Shackle shot as well, and they might be able to finish off these two heroes unless the Disruption saves Desperate and he's capable of just getting away with the Astral Step. My goodness, disruption has been so key this game. Black Hole, though, used by Tofu just to catch Desperate. They can't cancel it in time, and the Sunstrike will finish him off. The Shackle Shop stopping the Medusa in her tracks, but the Rolling Thunder will make sure that Ace cannot hit reliably, and Ace will just die here to the Medusa's damage. Look at Melis controlling them. The Scotty as well. BKB on Krelat will not save him too much. He was hoping to catch up to Stormer, but unfortunately, Dusa is slow, BKB or not.
Oh, okay, they're going to at least get Astral finally. That's a big kill, but Rasmus is completely out of mana, so he can't TP. There's a Hex, at least from Stormstormer, trying to do his best here to help out his ally. Rasmus able to get off the BKB, and with the Spider Legs as well, looking to run. That Enigma didn't refresh, by the way, did he? I thought I saw, like, a green orb around him.
No, I didn't think so, because he would be refreshed now, right?
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Gilgur,
Gilgur, he's going to pay for that one.
Swashbuckle. Easy. In fact, Enigma in a similar position. Tofu. Oh, they whipped him. They whipped Tofu. He can't get back in shape. That's what happens when you whip Tofu.
Yeah, and that's a big costly death there. Roshan is going to be respawning here in the next couple of seconds. Krelat, he'll go, yes, please, there to the Aegis. And I believe he... Whoa. Oh, it's just Ench. That's an Ench talent. I feel like we never see Ench at level 20. Usually the game's over by then. But there's going to be now Roshan having respawn. That'll be scouted immediately here by PuckChamp. There's 20 seconds where Ace is not able to do anything. We don't have Black Hole probably for about a full minute still, as they did use it to get the kill onto Desperate. A good Black Hole, though. As soon as he's BKB'd, he knows there's literally no way to cancel the Black Hole, because Krelat's already used the Stone Gaze to save Desperate earlier. they're going to be able to scout this Roche here by the HELLBEARSMASHERS, and they're not going through it as fast as I thought they would have here. So they could potentially still look to fight this. They're without a couple of, well, really only the Enigma Black Hole. There's Surround Sound Deafening Blast off from Storm level 25, and the Invoker just looking to slow down the Roshan here. Desperate chasing after Rasmus. They do get the lucky shots. We should have a BKB ready. Pig on pig action, though, as there's going to be the blink forward into the Rolling Thunder. Melis, though, does he have any follow-up? The roll-up, man, he's just perma-stunning Rasmus, who's now dead for full 100 seconds. Gilger as well.
Oh,
Gilger snatches the Aegis, and he's in the snowball. Wow, how?
He even got the Roshan, dude.
Whew.
He didn't just steal the Aegis, he got the full Roshan there. Oh my goodness. Only left the cheese for Krillat.
I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
That's the second time that's happened in this game, isn't it?
I think Gilger needs to change his name. It's not learning from Crit, it's Crit is learning from me, dude. At this point. Oh, they want some roast pig, another great disruption. They're not going to calculate that this Sunstrike perfectly. Astral is the MVP of this game, straight up.
Yeah, he's killing it right now. He is killing it. My goodness, I can't believe there's just casually a Tusk there, just stealing Roche. Yep. I mean, unfortunately, he's going to die. He doesn't have buyback here, but the most importantly, neither does Rasmus here, as he's bought back earlier in the game, and I believe that was his death punishment as well on the timer. Another Sunstrike here is going to scout Desperate. They have the Black Hole onto him now. Nice job not blinking into the 8th minute. Can they get the damage in time? Yep, with the Hex, they've got it guaranteed. And he's dead for 100 seconds. That's going to help delay the push a little bit, but it's not going to stop Dusa from going up the high ground. And there's that annoying Ice Wall again.
That Enchantress might just be able to take this once the Disarmer's down. The Ancient is so annoying. She even has a solo credit just to buff the Ancient. Wow.
Well, it's for the Dusa, right? But yeah, of course, for the Ancient as well.
It's for the Ancient Thunderhide.
It's for the Ancient, my bad.
How would you buff the Dusa when you have a Thunderhide with a Berserk? Is that what it's called?
It is called the Thunderhide, yeah.
No, the
Dusa, careful. She doesn't have Ags.
Nice
she doesn't have BKB.
Oh, there we go. Ace, though, goes in. Stone Gaze needs to be used here. Does the BKB. Not going to use anything yet, though. There we go. BKB. Stone Gaze as well. Eats the cheese. And that Stone Gaze kicks everyone out. Ace, get out of your own circle. Ducal's is staying here. He's okay with dying as long as they can kill Ace. But unfortunately, they don't have the damage. And Ace can get away. They've already used Stone Gaze. They've already used the BKB. They've already used the cheese for PuckChamp. We need a TP. Malphus stops it. Rasmus guessed perfect what Dusa was. And now Krillat is in trouble. Fighting head-on against Rasmus with the protection of Melis. They're trying their best. Aeon is triggered on Melis. And he activates the roll-up to make sure he doesn't go down just yet. Well, this giving enough space for Dusa to get away. Now with a Shackle Shot. Again, the Hex. They're actually stacking the stuns. Doesn't seem to matter any longer, though, as Krillat, again, in a bad position. Another beautiful disruption. But unfortunately, Krillat versus 4 is not going to be able to succeed. And he's going to go down finally.
He's got buyback, though. He's got buyback. It's okay for now. But that does not bode well here for the future of PuckChamp as they overextend. I mean, if I'm going to be critical here, it's going to be towards Melis with that initial Rolling Thunder. If they had that by the time, or if they just coordinated at the very least the Stone Gaze with that Rolling Thunder, Ace is probably dead. Windrunner for sure is dead there. Like, it's a big woulda, coulda, shoulda here, unfortunately, from PuckChamp, as they just didn't have the ultis, you know, in line to fight. And Ace, he lives. There we go again here. Melis is just going to clear the mid creep wave and TP away. A little Storm Spirit move as we are going to get another pause. Desperate, you don't even need, I mean, you're all muted. You don't need to say sorry.
It's absolutely adorable, though, that despite them being called kids and a relatively rude message from Rasmus, they're still apologizing for this happening because they know it's annoying. It's not really up to them.
Yeah,
gotta give props to PuckChamp, like, for that play, right? Wherever there's good manners and goodwill, and then of course the classic goodwill phrase, surfaced. Yeah, everyone knows when you say that.
You do.
Oh,
as Rasmus was like, hold on, we've got you muted. We didn't know we were on. Okay, now we're good. We're good to go.
Can just one person unmute them so you know these things?
I mean, listen. It's if the captain says to mute him, I'll listen to the captain.
That's true. Oh, Captain, my captain. Yes, sir. They're all kids if you say so.
You have to stand on the desk, move your keyboard aside, stand on the desk. Oh, Captain, my captain, and recite the poem.
What poem? Oh yeah,
it's a poem. It's a poem.
Oh, that's a poem. That's seen as a poem.
Yeah.
Is that why the movie's called Dead Poet Society?
I don't know. I don't know about the movie. I've only seen that scene, but yeah, it's a poem. Oh, Captain, my captain. Yeah.
Oh,
listen, you're Mr. Poetry, man. You're the guy who goes, sound checks, please, and you go, I am the I am the very model of a modern major general.
That's not a poem, it's a monologue.
You're the guy who's out here quoting the Odyssey and the Iliad to me for no reason. I say, stop quoting epic poems to me, please. I said I like The Simpsons, not Homer.
Jesus Christ. What an awful joke you made for yourself there.
What a just, it was a lot of classics up there, and then it's just back to The Simpsons. That's another callback, by the way.
To our own cast. How arrogant can you get, huh? PuckChamp now with the smoke, a bit desperate here because they know that this game is going to be difficult because Enigma is armed enough, right, to be able to just take team fights relatively easily. PuckChamp, they understand that DOTA can no longer fight the mano-a-mano against Monkey King. It's becoming much more difficult. So what do you do here? What do you do here against HELLBEARSMASHERS? Well, you go for these kind of smokes. You hopefully you find some stragglers and you just murder them in cold blood before they can get ready.
Yeah, I think both teams trying to do the same. Krelat's going to show mid lane. He's got BKB, MKB. He's got all the bars. The bar is set pretty high this game, though, of course, as both teams. I think they do have a lot of respect for each other in terms of they know how strong their opponents are this game. And I think that's definitely... I mean, this is the closest of all 3 games we've seen, for sure, especially at this late into the game, 45 minutes now. With only a 3K net worth difference, doesn't really mean much. In fact, really, the biggest difference, I would say, of that 3K is going to be on our position 5 Enigma having this Blink and BKB. Minotaur Horn now for Gilger is going to allow him to play a little bit more aggressively. As the Ninja Gear onto Enigma is interesting that they decide to give him the Ninja Gear, but I assume that's just so he can rotate around a little bit more. Oh, they might catch him here. They might catch him. Yep, Desperate's immediately right on top of him. The bash, and down he goes. Doesn't even get a chance to get his BKB off. They know that Monkey King was nearby because he drops a statue in his wake, but he's already gone.
See, still coming. Okay, we go for the Pangolier. Melis in trouble. He is going to fall relatively easily. Deafening Blast. They just stopped the initiation from Medusa completely with this. And that Ice Wall is making Medusa so slow. I'm starting to see the Valley of the Shard. Just being able to place it in choke points. My goodness. Krillak cannot get into Enigma. And they're going for the Enchanters first. We did see a snowball. That's to the Enigma.
What was that? Rolling Thunder.
That's
okay.
Rolling Thunder doesn't really work out, though, and Gilger will die, though, regardless, because the Minotaur Horn didn't last forever. So they lose Gilger, but they took the Enchanter's kill for 100 seconds. Somewhat matters.
They did. Keep your eye on that orange sort of arrow here on the side of the HELLBEARSMASHERS. That's going to be our Enigma. He's always going to be looking now for the flanking play. He knows that they've got 2 great initiation onto him, and I don't think it's possible to have it's possible to have the reaction time to BKB, but if you do that, then all Desperate's going to do is probably just disseminate and leave before you can, drop a black hole. So keep that in mind. He's also got the Octarine Core. I mean, he's very farmed for an Enigma. He's more farmed again than Rasmus, so he's essentially kind of like this pseudo off lane, but just with, a good farm, I guess. And yeah, I mean, this Ice Wall right now, it's just too damn annoying for the Medusa. They've got a Force Staff, but of course the issue is, unless you want to commit your BKB to run away back through the Ice Wall, because it also lasts a fair while. I think it lasts 9 seconds, I think, or 8 seconds or 12 seconds, something around there, between 8 and 12 seconds. You can only really go through the Ice Wall with a BKB or with a Force Staff one way, and if you need to run, it's simply too dangerous. But again, a lot of saber rattling. 2 buybacks here, 1 from Astral, I believe, 1 from the Enigma, and that's going to be just all we get out of that team fight.
No, we'll see. Krelat, okay, Ice Shards. Yeah, nothing. It seems like PuckChamp right now, they just swapped the map positions, because before HELLBEARSMASHERS was taking over the bottom side of the map, and PuckChamp were taking over the top side, which is interesting. Usually that's how Dota is organized, but in this case, it's swapped now.
Did you see what the Dusa had, by the way? That was just a little bit interesting. Krelat went for the Acronym Shard.
I think it's really solid in a late game situation.
I agree, especially versus an Invoker and a Windrunner and Enigma, 3 high int-based heroes. Or high int gain based heroes, so you're going to be stealing a lot of mana if you at least get it onto one of those, and that's a lot of HP back for you effectively.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a really solid item when you don't.
It's the Ice Wall again.
Yeah, that Ice Wall is pretty good, but in the backlines they destroy Glucalis. That's a bit more important. Get no buyback on this guy. As they do the same thing against Gilger, though, which I would argue is a bit more valuable than Glucalis, and he didn't even take the gem.
And they're chasing.
PuckChamp just want to leave the gem on the floor because it seems like that's their plan right now. They were going for the kill on Rasmus, but Rasmus can just get away in time. And his Shadow Demon ends up picking a gem. And Astral's like, I have to do everything in this game.
The issue this game with the Ice Wall Invoker is that Krelat is simply too tanky. I mean, he tanked a full exhort with I don't know if actually we have eggs on Stormstormer yet, but so even so, it's just a little bit more damage. We don't. But he tanked a full exhort meatball and Ice Wall. It didn't even break a sweat. He's back to full mana already. Like, that's the only issue I see is it's effective at slowing... Wow, perfect Roche respawn time there for Krelat. He literally walks in and it spawns for him as if on command. But he just doesn't care. Krelat's just so goddamn tanky. Unless there's a Wukong's command on top or a black hole, he doesn't care about this Ice Wall. His team is actually strong enough to fight without him even, which is very impressive because they are still looking down the barrel of what is a fairly strong HELLBEARSMASHERS. I mean, you've got an AK net worth lead difference between the two mid laners in favor of the Invoker, but Ace here with his net worth lead, he might be caught. Hex, Sunstrike is not going to connect. They need to land another stun. Can they get a 30? Yes, they can. Krelat is now here, but here it's going to be Rasmus. Stormstormer trying to cut him away, as they will be able to save Ace. They have to use BKBs defensively here, though, as well as actually this Stone Gaze. Can they look to now counter-initiate Rasmus? He's got a Lincoln Sphere active on him, as they're going to dodge pretty easily the Invoker spells there with the Dissemblate. Nicely done. Power shot's going to hit. Can they chase further? Oh, it's really risky. They know, both teams know that Roche is up.
Now with this Roche, I feel like maybe HELLBEARSMASHERS has a bigger advantage now that the Stone Gaze is down.
Yeah.
Can you take it in time? Though the question is, you have tag team. Oh, they're going for a backdoor. That's
They
a really
don't have
nice little
BKBs.
wrap around here to surprise them.
ultis,
If they
but no
catch
BKBs.
Krelat, this will be huge. Krelat knows because of the shard that they were going for him. In fact, the Basher stops the Invoker right in his tracks. Swashbuckle though, can they turn this into a black hole?
Disruption.
For now, the disruption has been wasted. Ace sets up the Wukong's command. They just want to get the black hole off, but for now they're saving Krelat. He is out of mana though, and Rasmus just chasing right after him. We need some more catch, so as Krelat's capable of getting away for now.
Desperate.
The Void Spray instead is
Melis.
stuck. Thanks to that Shackle Shot, Sunstrike as well. Should be able to finish him off. The Hex with the Tornado will guarantee the kill on Desperate.
What?
Unless, never mind. I miscalculated.
Whoa.
He did as well. He has the BKB. The hit by Rasmus. He's trying his best. Astral blocks
They don't
the
get him.
Shackle Shot, putting himself in front. And he accepts his death at the expense of Desperate. So he's gonna survive. Sorry, he will die, but Desperate will be able to survive.
This is really bad for HELLBEARSMASHERS. We don't have BKBs and we don't have ultis now. They cannot fight right now. And guess what? Stone Gaze is ready to go. They need to either take Roche in about 10 seconds or they need to get the hell out of here because PuckChamp are coming with a vengeance for them right now. They're swiftling for DOTA. Okay, they're just going to take Roche in 10 seconds. Refresher shard as well here for the Enigma. Can they actually get it off, though? Rasmus, he's in some trouble already. Stormstormer with the surround sound Deafening Blast corrects onto 2, but they got the dieback there onto the Enigma. Also falling low is Ace. Can they catch him? Stormstormer's been controlled as well. Down he goes. He's going to have to buy back. They get the first life off of Ace. DOTA2LIVE standing nearby as there's going to be now the disruption to keep him locked down because Desperate and Krelat were taking down Rasmus.
No.
Now Krelat's back, and there is the kill onto Ace. They've
quite
got
yet.
Gilger for the snowball, trying to delay this. Up to
Gilger?
the high ground he goes, but they're waiting for him there. And Desperate with the triple kill is going to wipe 4 off the map here for the HELLBEARSMASHERS. And everyone's still alive for PuckChamp.
That Swift Blink won in the game, huh? The choice to go for Swift Blink on DOTA was an incredible one, and that's what won the game. It's essentially what allowed DOTA to catch up to the Monkey King once he was running away. Of course, the Scotty helps a lot here too, but it's mainly the idea of the Swift Blink. And the Shard really kept Krelat a lot more than he had a right to, just because of the extra Mystic Snakes he was getting off. So congratulations to Krelat. This build has really helped out. And now, you have the Solo Crest. Give it to Krelat. There we go. Should have given it to the Dragon.
Should have given it to the Dragon.
Much better. Deals more damage.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
no,
we've got
with this, the
Refresher
tower
Shard.
should fall. I mean, you don't care
on
about the
Enigma.
MP any longer. You're out of mana anyway. You need a Force Step out to the low ground. He's been hexed. There's the Force Staff from DOTA2LIVE. A second Force Step as well. And Desperate just trying to create some space for the Melis. Might need the
Nice.
Rolling Thunder inside just to make sure the enemy team cannot kill Desperate. But Desperate's already dead. However, he
he's got
does have a buyback. Melis will just try to TP back home as DOTA2LIVE is doing the same. So is the DOTA. I think Melis might not have enough movement speed. Last Swashbuckle. They might still be able to catch up to him. A Tornado hits him. Roll up to avoid it, but he's in the middle of the ice wall. Melis, he knows. Oh, never mind. Okay. I got excited a bit early. Melis is dead.
He doesn't have buyback. That's pretty crucial.
Yep.
Okay, and now, I mean, HELLBEARSMASHERS, I think they kind of have to do it in this push. They have to force buyback out from Desperate. They're going to have a 5v4, but you also have Refresher Shard on your Enigma. He might even have a full Refresher, or BKB is queued up for Ace as they recognize what kind of position they're in. Ace, though, be careful here, as there's something up from Krelite. He's going to BKB, so he doesn't get pulled into the snowball, but maybe he's shut up here because Ace is going down and he's dead. He's died back. He did not want to go into the snowball. Instead, he'll take the fast trip back to the Fountain Dead for 2 minutes as Stormer is trying to keep them at bay. Desperate just jumping on in, and they catch Rasmus as well. He's going to get eaten alive by this Medusa. 2 kills and 2 diebacks instantly as the kids, they're getting it done. HELLBEARSMASHERS in full retreat. Astral just chasing after them. Unfortunately, he's going to get owned by Stormer. They have to respect this double black hole that they have here on the Enigma, or Krelite's just going to blink right after him. Oh my goodness. Ace BKB'd and Gilger couldn't put him into the snowball. That's why he died. That's why he died, Avo.
That is why he died. That is why he died. And now you don't have Monkey King or Wind Ranger for 100 seconds. I don't know if DOTA alone can pull. I mean, I think so, right? It's Invoker versus DOTA pretty much. Right? The final battle. Desperate's still here with the text, though.
With 2 black holes. With 2 black holes.
We do have 2 black holes, that's true. And nothing to really cancel it, realistically, besides Stone Gaze. Which is not even
also buyback on the Enigma here, so...
I
mean, just get the Rapier, I would say, right, DOTA? I mean, you got buyback.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, maybe. At this point in the game, what else would you buy? Stormer doing his best at... Oh, wow. Just BKB to stop the deafening blast. Interesting. And that's your BKB gone. Perfect for vision, I'm assuming. Hex, black hole. Can they cancel
Number 1?
No, they cannot. But there's no follow-up, though. They like the damage, so this black hole
Number
is
2?
Number 2. No, don't go close, Desperate. All right, 2 black holes for the same DOTA. And this triggered on Desperate. They will lose the DOTA. That's 100 seconds without her. Desperate also in trouble. Has to also step to safety. Kills the Enigma's collateral. But Desperate's still stuck. They're going to make Smoke Tam out of him. Bye-bye, Desperate. Medusa comes back. She can buy the boots of travel, but... Yeah, she is here. She is here with the boots. There we go. Okay. Going for the racks again. Thanks to the leveler. Trying to take advantage of the time that Ace is dead.
You don't... I mean, Megas, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe. I don't know. It's a bit dangerous now. Did he Ballers kick him?
I think he did.
Or did he kick it? Or did he punch him in the middle of a shield crash or something?
I think he punched him in a swashbuckler. Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. Well, this is... I mean, no one's got buyback except for Melos all of a sudden. And, I mean, this is really turned into...
Why does buyback, though? He had it before. Oh, he used it.
Who? Yeah. Stormer too fast on the BKB. He's going to go ahead and take this free kill here onto the Doe as they hit him at least with the Demonic Purge. Melos chasing for more, but needs to get back. Everyone's alive.
No.
He's going for the TP out. He's okay. He's okay.
Okay. Oof, that was scary for a second. I thought he bumped by.
But you don't have Desperate for 70 seconds. They're just like, it's like late game. Just throw 5 enemies into their base and see what happens. Roll the dice, and I don't know. They didn't respect this Enigma. They simply had to kill him or avoid him, and they didn't either. They didn't either. Yeah, so the 2 black holes, sure, you know, DOTA can tank a black hole, but a second black hole, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, but regardless, I feel like without the black hole though, now you can't really take advantage of these 45 seconds of Void Spirits down. So I think you should defend this somewhat without the black hole. You still have Stone King, you still have Rolling Thunder. I think you have a decent high ground defense. I mean, mind you, let 1 lane of racks fall, but I don't think you can take all 3 in this time. Desperate's got back in just 30 seconds. It's a fair amount of time. Ace needs to make sure his statues are hitting the tower, though. You need to turn around every time the statue comes out. That's a trick. If you just turn around when you think the statue's gonna come out, then it'll always be in range for the Rex. Or for the tower, whatever it is.
There they go. As the mid lane of Barracks taken, Desperate's back in 10 seconds. Roshan, of course, is not going to respawn at least for another 2 minutes. And they're just going to back off. They're going to play this one safe. And now we have got the Cataclysm. The thing is, Stormer, he needs to buy out for the full Aghanim's Blessing because he's already 6 slotted. But hey, you had problems killing Medusa before in 1 black hole. How about a Cataclysm on top of that? You do move inside a black hole. It's important to note. You do move, so you're not guaranteed to hit 2. Sunstrikes, that is.
No, that's true. That's true. Well, I mean, I guess if you have 2 heroes in the black hole, right? You just need 2 heroes that are like next to each other or so, and then you most likely will hit 2. Most likely. Not guaranteed ever. But.
I think that PuckChamp, they kind of know. I think if they get 2 heroes in the black hole, it's GG, because right now only by design Medusa's kind of allowed to be in 1 black hole, right? Not in 2. Well, that's what I mean, right? I mean, did they have the damage for her there?
Yeah, Mama would go, okay, Medusa, remember you're the only one allowed in the black holes. Gravity will tear everyone else apart.
No one else can go swimming in the astrological or the astronomical.
Astrological is if Medusa's it's Cancer or an Aries or whatever. And astronomical is if
She's
snakes
like,
can
"You know
take
what?
the pressure of a black hole.
Today, my horoscope said I can tank 1 black hole, but never 2. It said to avoid the Enigma at all costs. But she can be in 1. She can be in 1.
Yeah, actually, that's how black holes were proven to not be theoretical. It was actually one astrologist was like, well, I mean, the stars are aligned, and today Cancer proves that black holes are not theoretical and they're a reality.
Stephen Hawking was playing Medusa. And he was like,
Stephen Hawking, yeah, playing Medusa, reading his horoscope, as Stephen Hawking tended to do. He's a big fan of the horoscope.
as he did every day, religiously. You know,
that's how he made all his discoveries.
Very famously, I don't actually know if he was an atheist or not, but of course he was a very devout, I don't know, Sagittarius.
Yeah. Whatever.
Okay, there's Rapier.
There's Rapier on Dusa. Okay.
Yep, no buyback, of course, for another 3-4 minutes. We're gonna have buybacks on HELLBEAR Smashers.
There's refresher on Enigma as well.
All up very quickly, so we still have 2 black holes.
Yeah, even without the shard this time. Maybe you can wait for the Roshan.
And Cataclysm, of course.
Wait for the Roshan still, right? Why not?
I think it's good form to wait for Roche. I mean, you might as well. If you wait another minute, you'll have tier 5s, and that can always make a bit of a difference here.
That's some really solid Roches here. I feel like, honestly, the Ags for PuckChamp could be given to the Dusa. It's a pretty solid Ags to give to Dusa. Because
it turns everyone to stone still, right? Doesn't kill illusions.
No, it's just a Mystic Snake turns people to stone for 1 second, which is pretty solid when you have the shard as well, right? So you have a bunch of like pseudo stuns to go with. But since Dusa can also farm it, you might want to give it to Chaladin instead, so you get the break. That's also just I think either. And
you get the 3 charges.
Yeah, also, which is pretty good.
Which is, well, I think even better, right? If you get the 3 charges onto Rasmus, 1 onto Ace, 1 onto Invoker, these cores aren't going anywhere. Medusa just activates the ulti BKBs and run away. There's no chance you can catch up. Well, of course, Enigma, right? But don't get black hole, lol.
Don't get black hole, just avoid it, easy.
Oh man! All right, well, we're gonna get tier 5s in. Any big tier 5s? I mean, Apex is always the big one. I think everyone thinks of. I think
no, in this case, I think Ballista's actually the biggest one.
Oh yeah, Ballista's busted. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Kreelat's about to hit
Ballista
level 30.
Dusa, this game is over. Lucas Shadows, that's not that big a deal. I mean, you give it to like Tusk, I guess, because he's just save right now. Force Pooch is also pretty bad. Mirror Shield's great.
Huge.
All right, so we know Ice Frog is a PuckChamp fan. Yeah, Force Boots for them is a bit better because you can give it to
Oh, but they're smoking. HELLBEAR Smashers, they know that they're probably just farming neutrals right now. And they're split up, and they are. Here's DOTA2LIVE, though, available to break smokes. And
oh my god!
Force staff. Oh my goodness.
He's getting away? He has Ghost Scepter still. He got saved by Disruption for now. Actually, Desperate wants to go in. They've already wasted the BKB on Stormstormer. Desperate could be in trouble. He has to use his own BKB. Had Astral Step still. Desperate.
Abyssal.
That's done. An Abyssal surprised them, but he didn't nail this. Oh, that was the last Astral Step. They're going to continue this. They're going to commit to this. They want to kill Ace with a Scotty. They have enough damage. Tornado hitting Dusa just as the BKB was about to end. And Monkey Game for now surviving. We saw the black holes. They might just hit Desperate. Desperate will lose his life. 100 seconds without him. He buys back immediately. And he is going to come back into this game. DOTA2LIVE will also fall. Medusa in trouble, as the Ice Wall still annoying her. They've only lost 2 buybacks here, PuckChamp. No losses here for HELLBEAR Smashers.
And Roche is up. Okay, that was a very ballsy move out from Desperate, to say the least. A very overzealous move, I would even say, to just initiate like that. I don't think your team fight was quite set up. Melis, with the Rolling Thunder, was trying to do his best there. DOTA2LIVE stuck inside the Ice Wall now as Melis TP's into it. Here goes Desperate yet again. Tofu threatening for that second black hole. He did refresh. He's got it ready to go. And he's going to show it off there. Obviously, Stormer, you madman. He gets bashed. They don't have detection, though. They don't have detection. There's a Sunstrike. Melis is going to walk. No, he just avoids it. There's no Cataclysm here for about, what is it, 20 seconds or so, I think, is the regular cooldown on a Sunstrike. Keep that in mind. And there's another BKB pop. Stormstormer going right back in. He catches Kreelat yet again here, but DOTA2LIVE is going to be able to force staff him out. Melis, though, this time with a good catch, but Gilger able to pull him into the snowball. Ace with a 2-man Boundless Strike, and there's going to be the black hole on top. It's a beautiful one. It's caught 2, and there's going to be the Cataclysm on top. Desperate still alive, though, as Tofu with another black hole here. This one is going to catch the Dusa, but she's too tanky. And you've lost Rasmus. There's an Abyssal Blade as Ace finally at least able to get Melis. And picks Hexed up is going to be Kreelat now turning to face Ace, who does not have the ulti. He doesn't have the bonus armor, but he does have Alacrity, and he does have the Basher. And now the ulti is back up. There's too much armor. Another disruption here, but they need to save the Dusa. Dusa is dying. She's got buyback in 8 seconds, and she's going to drop the Rapier to Ace, who picks it up. Tofu as well, getting another kill onto Astral, who's got buyback, and so does the Dusa. But now there's a Rapier here in the hands of the Monkey King.
Yeah, and now I think this is Roshan for sure guaranteed. Like, PuckChamp has to go for a desperate play. If they have Roshan plus Rapier, I can't imagine you winning this next team fight, honestly. So it has to be PuckChamp trying to do something insane. But of course, the moment they buy back, the enemy team will know that they're buybacking for Roshan. Yeah, it's gonna fall too quickly. Even if you buy back for this, you have to take it down.
I think it's over. I mean, I hate to say it. I don't know how you fight into this. I think they can just push your high ground, and that's it.
They give the Ags. I think they give the Ags to Gilger. Okay. I mean, if you're giving the Ags to the Walrus Punch, then you know that this Walrus Kick, sorry. You know that this game is over. I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine PuckChamp really turn this around with the Aegis now as well.
No.
Losing that Rapier was a big.
I literally just think they can just hit buildings and they just win.
Yep. I mean, Monkey King can just put his statues down and use the Rapier damage now that they acquired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Here's Melis. Yes, he's got a Mjolnir, but he's going to be interrupted here. I think they're just trying to...
Melis? X?
Okay.
Disruption saving him, but I don't think that's going to be enough. You have a second one? They might. They do, but it doesn't really matter. They don't get it off in time, actually, because they were too quick at killing Melis. And they're just going to go for Throne here. Tofu is in trouble. But Dusa, she's just walking around here together with, I think it was Astral's help here with a shard. She can't do anything. Black Hole catches Desperate, and the Ancient's already down. PuckChamp will lose game number 3, and unfortunately be out of the tournament.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker. These guys, of course, they get the rematch they were looking for. I think they had themselves in position to win at least twice here. Unfortunately, great black holes from Tofu, man. Fantastic black holes from Tofu. And guess what? He had an extra 3 for that last team fight in case it even went any longer. But, I mean, you give Ace the Rapier. Melis as well loses his life at the very end, trying desperately to slow them down, to get Desperate to respawn. But that's not it. That's not going to do it. And that's game 3. A bit of a heartbreaker, I have to say, for PuckChamp. As it definitely was in their favor here a couple of times, but overall an exciting game, and I think a well-played game here by PuckChamp. Definitely giving the HELLBEARSMASHERS a real run for their money yet again. Very reminiscent, by the way, extremely reminiscent of game number 4 of the grand finals, by the way, for Snow Sweet Snow number 1. It also ended in about, I want to say, an hour. I think that one was like 52 minutes, if I recall, in a very similar fashion, where there's a lot of back and forth and lots of Roshans, lots of buybacks here. But at the end of the day, HELLBEARSMASHERS, they prove they're the better team, and they're going to take the 2-1 victory and move on to the grand finals, and we might have a repeat champion here of Snow Sweet Snows.
Yeah, congratulations to HELLBEARSMASHERS. It was a really solid match, though I think that PuckChamp deserves credit as well for what a great performance they showed this game. I mean, they were toe-to-toe with HELLBEARSMASHERS most of the game. They only barely lost their composure a bit towards the end, but I think that they had, from solid drafts, solid games, it was really only game number 1 where they looked kind of weak, and the rest of the games, they were at the same level or more. I mean, definitely not warranting the kids comment, honestly. I think PuckChamp showed that they're a team, a force to be reckoned with. And now HELLBEARSMASHERS will have to fight against Viking GG in the finals. A Viking GG that beat them previously and has been looking incredibly powerful these past few days. We'll see what happens between them, though, because we do have a small, well, not a small break, actually a long break between this and the final. It's going to be almost a 3-hour break, 2 hours and 30 minutes, more or less, 2 hours and 40 minutes. And then we'll be back with the best of 5 grand final between Viking GG and HELLBEARSMASHERS.
Indeed. Stick around, guys, just for a little bit of an interview with AG Murdercore. He sat down with Focus, the hard carry over from Brame Esports, who unfortunately bowed out in the second round, or maybe even the first round to Bait. But stick around because they've got an interview that's going to be coming up right now. But yep, see you in 2.5 hours for the start of our grand finals. Viking GG out of the upper division, now taking on HELLBEARSMASHERS, who are moving on up to take their place. We'll see who's going to be able to take it in 2.5 hours. We'll see you then.